of the Jesse Paul Primary School, O'Neill Stevens, as a great loss to the education sector. Mr. Stevens and his wife, Kamisha Lindsay Stevens, were killed in a motor vehicle accident on January 3 in South Carolina, United States. He was changing a punctured tire with his wife rendering assistance when they were mowed down by a truck. Dr. Morris Dixon is expressing condolences on behalf of the ministry and noted that the contribution of Mr. Stevens to the education sector is well noted. Alright, we should be hearing from Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, the Minister of Education. Classes will not be held at the institution on Monday, January 6. Sessions will resume on Tuesday, January 7. The grief counseling team of the Ministry of Education has been mobilized to give support to the students and the wider school community. Meanwhile, the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Dr. Mark Smith, also reacted to the tragic loss of Mr. Stevens. Dr. Smith described him as an outstanding education leader. The JTA president said that the Jesse Paul administration will now have to dig deep and find the resolve to lead the school during this period of sorrow. A 32-year-old farmer from Pell River in Hanover has been charged with murder. Romaine Cunningham, otherwise called Mango, is charged with the January 2024 murder of 41-year-old laborer Sheldon Salmon. The Green Island Police report that at about 8:40 p.m. on January 21, Salmon was at home in Penn River when men knocked on his door. The men reportedly identified themselves as police. Salmon refused to answer the door. It's further reported that the men posing as police personnel kicked in his door and entered the house. They then opened gunfire, hitting Salmon multiple times. The gunmen then escaped on foot in the area. Salmon was taken to the hospital where he was treated and admitted. He had succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead on Thursday, December 26, 2024. Cunningham was arrested 2 days later on Saturday, December 28. He was charged following a question and answer interview in the presence of his lawyer. 54-year-old Arlen Martin, a janitor of Brownstown St. Anne, is facing larceny charges following an incident at a business establishment in the parish on Thursday, October 3. According to reports from the Brownstown Police, the manager of an establishment discovered discrepancies in two separate transactions. The investigation revealed that sums totaling $140,300 in October and $146,000 in December were missing. Surveillance footage reportedly later confirmed that Martin accessed the company's vault on two separate occasions and removed the cash. A report was made to the police, leading to Martin's arrest and subsequent charge. His court date is yet to be finalized. Investigation is ongoing. Sandra Anderson, the PNP council candidate for the Cedar Valley Division in Western St. Thomas, is calling for urgent work to be done to address the deplorable road condition in the division. According to Ms. Anderson, the current state of the road has long been overlooked by current leaders. In lamenting the state of the road, Ms. Anderson is asserting that despite repeated promises from both the incumbent councillor Louis Chin and the Member of Parliament James Robertson, the roadway connecting Penline Castle to Ramble Ridge continues to deteriorate alarmingly. In calling for elected representatives to be held accountable, she said that the condition of the road poses serious challenges for daily commuters, emergency services, and the overall development of the community, and that it is disheartening to witness the neglect that has led to such an unacceptable state of despair. With hours to go before the start of the much-anticipated intimate concert, motorists are being urged to brace for heavy traffic and enhanced security measures in St. Anne. The concert, which will feature reggae icons Buju Banton and Beres Hammond, will be held at Plantation Cove in the parish. Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Network, CCN, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says an entry point will be created to facilitate a smooth flow of traffic for Kingston travelers. SSP Lindsay also noted that police personnel will be deployed across the parish.
To facilitate the smooth flow of traffic along the North Coast Highway, an additional entry point will be constructed at the eastern end of the concert grounds to provide easier access for patrons traveling from Kingston to Ocherius. Patrons traveling from Trelawney and St. James will be able to enter the grounds through the existing Moby Gate that's located at the west of the facility. In addition, all 4 entry points will have signs and will be manned by police personnel to guide the entry process.
And of course, as we said, SSP Lindsay, she says additional police personnel will be deployed to assist in the movement of the traffic. And we apologize for the absence of that insert. To news now from the region, highlighting the unparalleled opportunities for youth and women in Guyana's growing economy, President Dr. Irfan Ali recently underscored the unprecedented potential young people have in the evolving landscape of the country. The head of state, in his New Year's message, urged the nation's youth to seize the moment as new industries and opportunities unfold at a rapid pace. From technology and agriculture to tourism, energy, and the creative industries, he described the nation as brimming with possibilities for the younger generation. Our economy is exploding with opportunities for our young people, President Ali said. To news now on the international scene, the U.S. Department of State has notified Congress of a planned $8 billion arms sale to Israel. An American official has confirmed to the BBC the weapons consignment, which needs approval from the House and the Senate committees, includes air-to-air missiles to be used against airborne threats, including drones, the official said. The move comes just over a fortnight before President Joe Biden leaves office. Washington has rejected calls to suspend military backing for Israel because of the number of civilians killed during the war in Gaza. In August, the U.S. approved the sale of $20 billion in fighter jets and other military equipment to Israel. And now to sport. Arsenal missed a big opportunity to cut Liverpool's lead atop the English Premier League table as Mikel Arteta's side drew 1-1 at Brighton on Saturday. Teenager Etienne Nwaneri sent the away fans wild with an early goal, but Arsenal didn't really had control of the game, and João Pedro's penalty kick in the second half grabbed the Seagulls a deserved draw.
Marino, Nwaneri right inside of him. It's Ethan Nwaneri! What a boy he is! There is the face of the next big thing. Ethan Nwaneri, 1-0 to the Arsenal. He was the scorer of Brighton's equaliser at Arsenal on the last day of August, and it is in his gift to draw them level again here. João Pedro delivers! Brighton are level in the freezing rain, and Arsenal's wings are clipped.
In other results, Newcastle beat Tottenham 2-1, Aston Villa beat Leicester City 2-1, Bournemouth edged Everton 1-0, Crystal Palace and Chelsea they drew 1-1, Manchester City whipped West Ham 4-1, and Brentford blanked Southampton 5-0. In Sunday's games, Fulham they will host Ipswich Town, and Liverpool they will welcome Manchester United. And of course, we return to our lead story. Of course, it was our lead story at 9 and also at noon, where we had highlighted the death of the principal of the Jesse Paul Primary School. We had said that the Minister of Education, Youth, Skills and Information, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dickson, she has described the tragic loss of the principal of Jesse Paul Primary, O'Neill Stevens, as a great loss to the education sector. Mr. Stevens and his wife, Kamisha Lindsay Stevens, were killed in a motor vehicle accident on January 3 in South Carolina, United States. He was changing a punctured tire with his wife rendering assistance when they were mowed down by a truck. Dr. Morris-Dickson is expressing condolences on behalf of the ministry and noted that the contribution of Mr. Stevens, it would have left an indelible mark on the education sector.
The news of Mr. O'Neill Stevens' untimely passing is a profound loss to the education fraternity and the nation. He was more than an exemplary leader. He was a beacon of inspiration and dedication. His vision for excellence in education and his steadfast commitment to the holistic development of our students left an indelible mark on the Jesse Paul Primary School community. Alongside him, Mrs. Stevens was a supportive partner and a cherished presence to the extended school family, always contributing with grace and generosity.
Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Minister of Education. And meanwhile, the President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Dr. Mark Smith, also reacted to the tragic loss of Mr. Stevens. Dr. Smith described him as an outstanding education leader.
On behalf of the Jamaica Teachers Association, I extend profound condolences to his immediate family, the Jessary Paul school community. The community was greatly loved by not only the students, but the teachers, the parents, and the wider community. And this has really been a huge shock to the system. Anybody said that to know this gentleman is to have a profound level of respect for him and the work that he and his team would have done together.
The JTA president said that the Jessary Paul administration will now have to dig deep and find the resolve to leave the school during this period of sorrow.
Just leading up to the reopening of school in the new year, this will of course create quite a bit of a destabilizing impact on the school, but I trust that the Board of Management, working with the various leaders within the school, will have to step up to the plate and help to stabilize things.
Dr. Mark Smith, the JTA president. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. The Minister of Education, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, says the death of the Jessary Paul principal, O'Neill Stevens, has left a void in the education sector. PMP Council in St. Thomas Western calls on the authorities to address deplorable road condition. The police are reminding the public to brace for traffic changes in St. Anne as the intimate concert is hours away. Remember, you can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned because up next is Sports Nation Live with Wade Walker and Eric Swaby.
Z Jamaica Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom, celebrating the achievements of over 100 students and teachers who have achieved certification. Special guest speaker, Dr. Denzel Williams. Presentation by Zebra Robotics Canada. Sponsors, Lasco, Mothers, and Optimity. Tickets available for purchase at ztechnologies.aitix.com or contact 876-880-3301 or 876-499-3157. And tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Z Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Z Technologies.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM. Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also, tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM. the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news. Dive into a holistic healing symphony with Dr. Denise Daly as she explores the incredible healing potential of the Nature's Remedies. Starting January 9, 2024, Nationwide at 5 hosts the Nature's Remedies from 7 to 8 p.m. every Tuesday. The segment bestows a plethora of organic wellness wisdom onto all listeners. If you're uncomfortable with popping all those pills, then embark on this natural journey and discover how the Nature's Remedies can help. Tune in for the facts that will transform your perspective on herbal solutions and natural therapies. That's Nature's Remedies, every Tuesday during Nationwide at 5 from 7 to 8 p.m. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, January 4, 2025. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alex Riber. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we open the lines at 7:30 to take your calls. The numbers to call are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-630-9374. Now let me pause to say a Happy New Year to everyone, especially those on our YouTube channel. We wish you all the best for 2025. Now coming up, we have another exciting and pack show lineup for you. We'll be talking track and field, netball, NFL, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, in our feature, you just had to be there. We relive Russies beating Clarendon College 2-1 to secure their 11th hole on the Issa Da Costa Cup title at the Montego Bay Sports Complex.
We're off here for the 2017 Da Costa Cup final here in the tourist capital of Montego Bay. The clearance only as far as Williams. Phillips with the overhead kick. Goes through to Nikhil Daly! That's his first big opportunity. And the marksman from Clarendon College makes the seas pay. The opening goal in this contest comes in the 35th minute. And CCR ahead in this Da Costa Cup final. Oh, Reed picks it up. It's a big chance for Rassis now. Reed! Montego Bay is rocking! From the Russians with love, 1-1. Huntington with the miss. Rafis scored goal! It was written in the stars. Leonardo Fogati to his father. An emotional goal, an emotional strike. And the Russians celebrate because they have one hand on the title. The Russians are screaming for the end of this match. They're screaming for a title. They're shouting for the Costa Cup. They're just moments away now. The celebration will take the form of a long line from Montego Bay to Watson Taylor Drive. That is it! The Russians have done it! The Costa Cup title, number 11! Rafis High and Coach Bassel Reynolds, they will celebrate long into the night. In his first year, at the first time of asking, Bassel Reynolds delivers the big one. And Rafis are your 2017 the Costa Cup champions.
Okay, so that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relived Rafis beating Clarendon College 2-1 to secure their 11th hole on the Easter Costa Cup title at the Montego Bay Sports Complex in 2017. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Get better paying jobs overseas and locally with City & Guilds International Skills Certificates at IIRQ Academy. In 2 to 3 months, get qualified in welding, fabrication, and pipework, carpentry, construction, painting and decoration, and plant maintenance. No subjects required, no age limits, no entrance test. Register this week and get 2 subjects for free. Online face-to-face evening and Saturday classes begin very soon. Starting soon at IIRQ, 9 to 18 months, advanced diplomas and associate degrees in motor vehicle repairs, electrical and electronic engineering, and logistics supply chain management. Call us at 876-322-4029. Visit us at 32 Hope Road, Kingston, 1 Perry Road, Montego Bay.
Z Jamaica Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom, celebrating the achievements of over 100 students and teachers who have achieved certification. Special guest speaker, Dr. Denzel Williams. Presentation by Zebra Robotics Canada. Sponsors, Lasco, Mothers, and Optimity. Tickets available for purchase at ztechnologies.aitix.com or contact 876-880-3301 or 876-499-3157. And tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Z Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Z Technologies.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Rebe, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We go over now to the Pure Water JCR Daniel Williams track and field meet at Jamaica College's Asinine Stadium for a report from Wayne Walker. Wayne, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Alex. Thank you so much. And let me just say a Happy New Year to the listeners. Our first program for 2025. I hope you're okay, Alex.
So far, so good.
Yes, nice turnout here at Jamaica College. Cool conditions in which the athletes are operating, and we've become accustomed to having to come out at such a big meet at the start of the year, literally, because today is the 4th of January, just 4 days gone in the year. It's going to be a big year when we have the World Championships in Tokyo. There's also a World Indoors, there's a World Relays in China, and so on. So it's a lot to happen in the track and field, and the JCR Donald Williams Pure Water meet pretty much sets the standards and set the tone for what is to come for the rest of the year. We just saw Joshua Cricket of Calabar High School doing 11.19 seconds to take down the Class 3 boys 100 meters record set by Ryan Walker, also part of our 11:43 in 2023. So that so far, he really set the crowd rearing when the time was announced this afternoon. Shanoya Douglas of Mushet, she yesterday was a star of the sprinter. Before we get to her though, Sabrina Dockery of Lacovia did 11:39, and of course Jermaine Aston from Edinal in 11:82 was the second best amongst the girls in the class 1. Just yesterday, the sprinters were still here. Shanoya Douglas, as I was mentioned, from Mushet, she won the class 2 200 in 23.62 seconds. Of course, you remember her as a bronze medal winner from the Under-20 World Championships in Peru last year. In the trees east of Wolmer's, 25.10 was also there in the trees, and Douglas are expected to be two of the stars at Boys and Girls Championships later this year. Of course, to put the main man behind the Ardani Williams Purewater JC track and field meet, Mr. Ian Forbes, who's also Vice President of the JC, and he's here to quickly give me a quick chat on what's happening. Mr. Forbes, first of all, let me take the opportunity to say a Happy New Year to you and wish you all the best for 2025.
Thanks very much, Wayne, and the same to you and all the listeners.
Yeah. All right, so pretty much put what's happened so far into context for me.
Well, I think we have witnessed some high-quality performances. A well-organized meet, as you know, actually started yesterday with some of the field events, the long throw, javelin, discus. There's also triple jump, as well as there was intention to have the pole vault, but the weather did not permit. It rained. We had torrential rain, and it would have been unsafe for the athletes to compete in that limited window. Separate and apart from that, we had a wide array of events: 3,000, 5,000, 800, 4 hurdles, sprint hurdles, 100 meters, 400 meters.
I don't know if it's because of the prestige of the meet and people really want to set a marker down. But one of the things that I notice every year, though it's early in the season and one of the first meets of the year, the performances and the quality of the performances have been good.
Yes, and when this meet helped to revolutionize our track and field, particularly sprinting. 1994 when we started. Back then it was over distance events this time of year, possibly January and most of February. We revolutionized it. We started with 100 meters out of the blocks in 1994. And I would like to think that would have contributed to the growth and development of our sprinting. We had a staff of power lifting under 10 seconds in the early 2000s. Last year, I was the Wingate reader out at GC Foster when we did that. And I think that has sort of changed the mindset of our coaches, that you can start sprinting early and maintain it throughout the season.
Mm-hmm. All right, so does it take away you and members of the organizing committee's Christmas? Because for you to come the fourth day in the year and to put on such a good meet so far, it had to take real good planning and probably late nights and long hours.
And I know Christmas. But we are committed, Wayne, and we have a tremendous team. I just happen to be the chair of the organizing committee, but we have a lot of persons working behind the scenes to make it happen. That's a moving part. So basically, you have very little in terms of the holiday. But the good thing is that we have a template. We have a model which we use, and it has never failed. So we know exactly what to plug in and when to plug in. So once we say we are ready, all systems go.
What time will you be going up on this evening?
Initially, we had said based on the number of entries, number of athletes, we had said possibly 7:30. But based on where we are, we should be out of there no later than 6:30. In fact, based on how things are trending, I think 6:30 is doable, and we might even complete the program before. Because we have to be cognizant of the fact that some of the athletes are from afar, yes, from the length and breadth of Jamaica.
How many schools are here?
Over 50 schools, over 2,800 entries, and of course we have clubs and institutions as well as unattached athletes.
How long have you been sort of attached to this? Well, I suppose you were there at the very start. Yeah, so many years.
That's correct. 32 years now.
Yes.
32 years.
Yes. I could facilitate the chairman of the school, if you could get him here, Mr. Forbes. I'll hold on a bit, and we'll get a quick word with him.
Yes, Mr. Lance Hilton.
No problem. All right, so we're waiting on Mr. Lance Hilton, the chairman of the board, because we had expected to talk to him in our next report, but based on how things are going, we might not have, let's see. It's athletic, but we're going to have a quick chat with Mr. Lance Hilton just to sort of get an idea into to what happens at the Jamaica College this early in the year with the sort of organization that they've managed to put together. I can tell you, Alric, the quality of the performances has been good. Another thing that I've noticed, in fact, when I got into the stadium today, I noticed that the crowd isn't as big as it was last year. There are a lot of faces in the stands. I was just talking to one of the commentators to ask him what it was. And he was, using people like Freedom Street and Frenchman and all sorts of things to try to explain why. Mr. Lance Hilton is here with us, the chairman of the board. Mr. Hilton, Happy New Year to you and all the best for 2025.
Happy New Year, Wayne. So glad you're here and it's a great event. It's a great way to start the year. We're really thrilled. There's another record going. The records are following. We're really thrilled that's how it's going.
Right.
We really want to thank Ian Forbes. Ian is a champion.
Right.
Not just for JC, but for the country. And of course, Michael Bernard, the sponsor.
Class. All right. So there you go. I was wondering when the lights are going to come on. Well, you guys are holding the lights.
Stadium lights are on. That is when they come on cue.
Yes. You're a massive part of the whole thing, clearly, as chairman of the board. What does Jamaica College do so well?
Jamaica College has a history and a legacy of building the complete man. We are supported by 200 years of old boys and a culture that, as you can see, they're all here. You look at the sponsor, the principal, the chairman, the coach, the organizing committee, all great Jamaica College old boys. But there's more. We have a following of persons who are not even old boys, but who just love the fact that we create and serve excellence. Whether they be parents, mothers, you see a lot of females here assisting. I think we have 61, 100 even here, 61 schools. And so it's a national movement.
Yes.
And that's what.
Yeah. I was just telling Ian that it's impressive that this is not the middle of the year. It's the start of the year. 4 days literally into the year and you've got this.
Yeah, just after. And it's a testament to the organization. It's a testament to the team and the history and the culture and the structure that brings out everybody, that brings out the sponsors. As you can see, we have a number of sponsors. The teams that come know that it will be well organized. You can see it's a full stadium. They know that they'll qualify. The times will be properly recorded. The track is properly kept. We had rain and places dry. The green is first class. And so we take the obligation to the nation and to our stakeholders and to the country seriously.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Hilton, one last question. Champs coming up. I'm sure Jamaica College have their eye firmly on that one.
Oh, yes. We're coming this year. As one of the forces friends that I know it's a centenary, but I mean, I know you're satisfied with the Manning Cup and because there's nothing else. But, we honor you and so Manning and Olivia, and so I know you're good with that because don't look to the champ.
I'm sure they're thinking otherwise. But I'm sure they're thinking otherwise for sure because, But Mr. Hilton, thank you so much for talking to us live on Sports Nation Live. We're always here at the start of the year to do reports on this meet, so it's nothing new to us. And you guys keep impressing us with the high quality that you've put together. Thanks so much.
And we appreciate you. We appreciate your presence and your support and keeping us live as we're here in the night. The lights come on and we have broadcast quality ongoing.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, man, and all the best to you.
Thank you.
All right. So that's the chairman of the Jamaica College Board, Mr. Lance Hilton, giving us an insight into what's happening here at Jamaica College, not just here at this meet, but also looking forward ahead to the Boys and Girls Championships a little later on this year, Alric.
Okay, then. Thank you, Wayne. And with that, we take a quick break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
All right. Take care.
Jamaica Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom, celebrating the achievements of over 100 students and teachers who have achieved certification. Special guest speaker, Dr. Denzel Williams. Presentation by Zebra Robotics Canada. Sponsors, Lasco, Mothers, and Optimity. Tickets available for purchase at ztechnologies.aitix.com or contact 876-880-3301 or 876-499-3157. And tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Z Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Z Technologies.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We'll be talking some basketball now, as the Jamaica Basketball Association is in early discussions to host some of the top under 17 players from the USA to travel to Jamaica for a session called The Grind. To tell us more is JBA President Paulton Gordon. Sir Paulton, good afternoon and welcome to the show. Again, let me say a happy new year to you and the entire JBA family.
Hi, good afternoon and thanks for having us.
It's our pleasure. Let's jump right in, Paulton. When we look at this, tell us what this grind is all about.
All right. The grind session, as they call it, is as I mentioned, one of the top U17 competitions based in the USA. It is primarily contested between the high school academies. As you know, when there is exceptional talent, most of those kids end up not in traditional schools but in more basketball academies.
Right.
I think this was born out of the fact that AJ, I don't know if you have heard the name, AJ the Banser.
Right.
His mom is Jamaican, his dad is from Congo. They actually came to Jamaica sometime early last year, met with the minister. And because he's part of the grind session, I think they are now in Hawaii. They are looking at bringing that event to Jamaica sometime in March. So we had some discussions with some of the principals who came to Jamaica during sometime mid-December. Brett and Josh were representatives of the grind session. And essentially what we did some preliminary work. We took them to the National Indoor Center. They have been speaking to the IPL management about the nights that they want to look at. We also had discussions with tourism interests, the Minister of Sports, and also one of the hotels that that's planning to host the teams that are coming.
Right.
So it's, as you mentioned, it's preliminary. The dates that they are looking at is March 6 to 8. And looking forward to advancing that discussion.
Tell me, after those preliminary discussions, how favorable is it looking?
It's looking good. One of the persons I've been speaking to is the Banser's dad, and he's keen on bringing it here. As I mentioned, his mom is Jamaican. She wants some activity here. And he's keen on, just showcasing a little bit more of the brand Jamaica. So it's progressing well. To date, they have indicated that there are 4 teams of those academies that have already expressed interest. They're trying to find an additional 2 to 4 teams that might want to come to Jamaica. I'm hoping that, dependent on, I know it was the Christmas break, so a lot of things would not have happened, but I'm hoping by the middle of January, we'll have further discussions with them to see where they are and to see how we can advance this further.
Right. Should this materialize, tell me, is there a possibility that we will be seeing some Jamaican players competing in that league, or at least a coaching session or something like that to help the local basketball players?
All right, what we're trying to do is if this materializes, there'll be some possibilities in terms on two levels. The Canadian team I'm hearing has 3 Jamaicans on that team. The Canadian team that is designated or have confirmed that they are coming. They have 3 Jamaicans. There's an under 17 Jamaican player in Arizona who has represented Jamaica already, who's slated to come on that team. But as these teams are, well, most of these players are pretty much almost NBA ready. Right. Most of them are expected to go into college for 1 year and then enter into the NBA draft. Right. Well, quite a few of them. So the competition, that level of competition is quite high. The discussion I'm having with the organizers is for us to have another section where we can expose some of our under 17 and under 15 youngsters. So some other overseas-based players who might be coming down. So that's early in the discussion as well. But we certainly want to have a Jamaican component to this event. In addition to that, the very first day will be lots of clinics. Right. The coaches and the schools will be coming in. The overseas coaches will be assisting with just fundamentals of the game and helping to, upskill some of the youngsters who might be on location. But they'll be heavy, if this materializes, there'll be a heavy Jamaican component to it.
Right, that's good, because you wouldn't want to miss out on an opportunity like this to have this quality coaching and players in Jamaica or players and coaches don't benefit from it. But tell me, when you look at AJ the Banster, tell me, you would have been following his progress. How big a talent is he?
Boy, he's considered a huge talent. ESPN has ranked him number 1 as a high schooler in the USA, and the prediction is that he will go to BYU. He has committed to BYU for August, and the prediction is that he will go to BYU, and by 2026 he'll be in the NBA draft. There's such a buzz around him that he has. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the NIL arrangement in colleges now, where right. athletes can be actually paid in college.
Right.
He has already signed a couple of NIL agreements. He has a $1 million contract with Red Bull.
Wow.
He has a $350,000 contract with Nike. Mm-hmm. And I'm hearing some figures which I don't want to disclose here in terms of what he has been promised to get into to start the college program in BYU. So there are dollars and in the millions committed there as well for him to get there. So there's a big buzz around AJ. He's an exceptional talent. You watch some of the clips, you watch some of the analysts, and they talk highly of him. And the expectation is that he'll deliver at the highest level.
Right, and he seems to have his head on his shoulders, and it's a good thing that he has his father guiding him as well, because I was watching him on the Stephen A. Smith show, and he was stating that his intention is to make it to the NBA, as you said earlier, and which is why he chose BYU for his college education, because when he visited all the colleges that were scouting him, he realized that BYU has the best coaching setup in terms of the coaches there are NBA coaches or former coaches
who understand that system.
Right, who understand the system. So they are this BYU is the best machine to get him to the NBA. But he was saying that there are certain areas of his game that needs strengthening. His father believes his defense is the weakest of all his arsenal. Like I said, he's projecting to go into the NBA draft by about 27. But by what you have seen from him, are you satisfied that he'll be able to make the leap to the NBA by then?
Yeah, I'm convinced based on the clips that I've seen, and as you mentioned, the guidance by his dad. His dad was here. His dad was in Jamaica twice last year. I met with him in September, October. I met with him in April when he met with the minister. And his dad is, as you mentioned, has kind of taken on the role of guiding his career. And the dad is very, very ace, as we call him. He's very level-headed. And he understands the pathway that is required to guide this youngster to the highest level. And he has also ensured that the persons who are around him are the proper persons, are the right persons to help guide his career. So I'm totally convinced that within 2 years that youngster will be in the NBA.
Let's go back to the grind session a bit. Tell us, this grind session, is it a exhibition game, or it's a major competition among the academies?
It's the academies usually tour. They do a number of tours across USA. There's one that is sponsored by Nike, and there's another one that is heavily supported by Adidas, and then the grind is the third major one. And they usually go across the USA and in some instances Canada and showcase their skill. Then in the middle of the season also, from my understanding, it will be part of a kind of competitive setup. Okay. So it's not totally exhibition, really. But that discussion will happen again in mid-January when they get here.
Right. And I'm assuming if like I said, if all materialize, there will be a cost for patrons to get into the venue.
That's another discussion we're having, because again, it's heavily US based in terms of the participants. We will have to promote the youngsters who are coming and to ensure that the general high school population, basketball stakeholders understand what's happening. The discussion with the minister, I have a discussion with the minister about that, Minister Grange about that, in terms of how they do that, because I don't know if you recall that when we did the NCAA college thing in Montego Bay,
right,
what happened is that in a lot of instances, what was done, we ensure that the youngsters from the high schools who participate in basketball could attend free,
right.
and that's what we're aiming for again.
Okay, let's look locally a bit now. The NBL tips off soon. Tell us when and what the format will look like.
All right, so the NBL, the third week in January, we're looking to start the NBL. Everybody recovering from drinking a little bit too much.
Sorry, land cake.
Over the holidays. So we're having some meetings next week to finalize all of that. But the projection is the third week in July. And the format we have...
In July or January?
Yeah, of January, definitely. Okay. I said July, right?
Right.
January. We have, the format is we have 10 teams, 10 top clubs in Jamaica who will participate in the NBL. The very first round will be a round robin of all the teams playing each other. Subsequent to that, based on where you are situated, we'll divide the teams into two groups of 5, two zones of 5. After that, we have the top 4 teams from each zone that will emerge to the quarterfinals, and it will be best of 3, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals.
Right. And I know you said you'll be hosting some discussions to further finalize everything, but what has been the feedback from the various clubs so far as to their eagerness for the start of the league?
Well, they're on board. We launched it and did some pre-season activities in December to keep them active. And everybody's on board. Everybody's eager to go, raring to go. One of the things that we said to the teams and to the other stakeholders is that one of the things that we need to do as an association is to expand the grassroots basketball, because basketball is not a traditional sport in Jamaica, and a lot of the youngsters who participate in basketball start at the high school level, and that's a little bit late. That we want to change that. So I've been having discussions with the SDF have been having discussions with the Institute of Sports. We have a partnership already with the Ministry of National Security where we're into 13 schools across the island, primary schools across the island, using basketball for behavior change. And we have a partnership with the Bob and Rita Marley Foundation, and we're going to use part of that support for grassroots basketball development. So we're going to roll out all of that this first quarter.
Right, and this grassroots / primary school program expansion, what is the program looking like now, and what's the expansion will look like?
Well, one of the problems, what we find is that there are a lot of the basketball is played in the urban centers, as is the tradition worldwide. It's more of an urban, basketball is more of an urban sport. So you find more basketball being played in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, pockets in, I think you have about 8 to 10 primary schools in Montego Bay playing basketball. So it's really an urban center sport. Well, we had some preliminary discussions in Ocho St. Anne, St. Mary's area, because we want to have we want to do some upskilling of some of the PE teachers who might be interested, so as we can expand that on that corridor. Yeah. So those are the things, and we have also had discussions and a seminar in Manchester in November, December. Looking at getting more schools on that side involved. So it's really we're really just into expansion mode. I'm hoping to have probably 60 new schools over the next 2 years, primary schools participating in basketball.
Right, and you're preparing some national teams for summer regional tournaments. What are these teams, and what are the tournaments that you are preparing for?
There are potentially 3 on the cards. As you know, this thing is usually very costly, so I have to be careful how we pronounce.
Right.
Because every time if we make a trip, it's approximately $3 million, and that doesn't include preparation costs. So the under 17 team got a bye to the next level, what we call Central, which includes all the Caribbean. The top teams from the Caribbean and the Central American region. So in November, the FIBA Americas indicated to us that we have advanced to the next level based on our ranking. And so we are looking forward to that under 17 team participating in July. So we're going to start pulling together the coaching group and the structure. In fact, prior to Mr. Remicky's passing, we had a group of local players training on probably on a fortnightly basis.
Right.
So we took a break when we heard that we're through to the next round automatically, and we need to get that going again sometime in January. So that's on the 17 team. The women's Caribbean basketball league should be played again this summer, so we want to start organizing ourselves for that. And then the men's senior, because this is what 2025, the qualifiers, the preliminaries for say World Cup 2027-2028, FIBA World Cup should be starting sometime this year. So I'll be speaking to Coach Rick Turner about plans for that. And then every year we are participating in the AmeriCup 3x3 competition. We have been doing well, both more male and female. So those are on the cards again for the latter part of the year.
Right. Okay, then, Paulton Gordon, I wish you and your team all the best, and I just want to thank you for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us.
Yeah, not a problem, man. All the best to you and the nationwide team.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure. That was Paulton Gordon, president of the Jamaica Basketball Association. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Introducing Domus Windows and Doors, Caribbean UPVC solutions. Now open at the Summit, 16 Chelsea Avenue, Kingston 5. Order energy-efficient Solar E windows and doors that offer laminate glass for enhanced security and a 50% reduction on your air conditioning usage. Now that's saving money. And these windows and doors are manufactured to international standards with a 20-year warranty on the frames. Get special offers in time for Christmas. Call or WhatsApp 619-1223 or visit the showroom today.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM. Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also, tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alrix Raby, working out with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We'll be talking some netball now, as Netball Jamaica named the full 15-member squad for the upcoming 3-game Sunshine Series against South Africa. All 3 matches of the series will be played at the National Indoor Sports Centre on January 18, 22 and 25. The teams will compete for the Margaret Beckford Trophy. Ace defender Samara Sterling Nemhard was again named as captain of the Sunshine Girls. That boosts a mix of experience and up-and-coming talent. This series follows on the team's outstanding performance at home in the recently concluded Horizon Series against England. The Sunshine Girls emerged 2-1 winners of the closely contested series, taking the first hold of the Rowan Hornsby Trophy. Following the conclusion of that series, World Netball rankings were updated at the year end, with Jamaica emerging at number 3 in the world, closely followed by England. The top 5 ranked teams going into 2025 are Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, England and South Africa. The Sunshine Girls will need to win the series against South Africa to maintain their rankings, as South Africa will also play England in the Quad Series in February. Okay, so we have online joining us to talk about this series coming up, Kurt Daly, specialist coach of the Sunshine Girls, and Sunshine Girls defender Jody Ann Ward. Lady and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the show. Let me say Happy New Year as well.
Thank you for having us. Happy New Year to you as well.
It's my pleasure. Kurt, are you there?
Yeah, man. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for having us. Happy New Year to you too. And Kurt Dale, D-A-L-E, not Daly.
Okay, Kurt Dale, no problem. Thanks so much. Let me start with you, Jody Ann. This 3-match series against South Africa coming up on January 18, 22 and 25. After building us up in that series against England, you all can't drop the ball. What can Jamaica expect coming out later this month to watch the Sunshine Girls?
Jamaica can expect some great netball, as per usual. We have been training really hard and we've been preparing for South Africa similarly to the way we have been preparing, where we prepared for England. This is really going to be a series to show if we can actually put out a full performance. We did drop the ball for the first couple of games against England, so we are just looking to solidify everything to actually come away with a clean sweep. We didn't do that. We didn't do that with the England series. So we're hoping that we can actually execute on this series.
So you not only want to win the series, you want to sweep it.
Yes, we want to come away with a clean sweep. That's the aim.
Right, no, but it's the Sunshine Girls. It's not such a big deal. Like I said, the Sunshine Girls. It's expected. But tell me, like you say, training has been going well. When you look at the core of this team, tell me, how confident are you that the Sunshine Girls will be able to sweep, or the Sunshine Girls are in a position to sweep this series?
I feel like we have a great mixture of youth experience in the squad, and I think that these Crupper girls really can get the job done. We're swapping out the goal shooter, Babe Romelda, with Shimona for this series, and I think Shimona can actually execute just similarly to Romelda. We're very lucky to have such great targets in our shooting circle, and similarly in the defensive end as well. There are some great talent there as well, with Shamira, Sterling Humphrey, Latanya Wilson, myself, Kimon Shaw, and Teresa Beckford. We really have some great talent in both ends, and in the midcourt as well. We have a lot of young, youthful players in the midcourt and experience. So with all that combined, I think that we can really execute.
Right. Let me bring Kurt in here. Kurt, you are the specialist coach. Explain what a specialist coach do.
All right, so I'm the specialist coach in charge of the defensive unit. So I'm doing some specialist work with the defenders in particular, just to fine-tune some game strategies and stuff like that heading into the series.
Right. Tell me what are the areas that you're working on. I know South Africa, maybe listener, you don't want to give away too much of a secret, but what are some of the areas that you can talk about that you've been working on? Something you may have seen during the England series that you want to correct before the South Africa series?
Good point. I'm sure they should be listening, but we're quite confident in what we have been doing. I think what we gathered some information from the England series, and we were weak in some areas like the centre part defense, man-to-man marking overall. So we are placing a lot of emphasis on that to improve the defensive unit. And I know Jamaica will be looking on and say, oh, the defenders were so awesome in that series, and they were. But there's a lot of room for improvement, and I mean, it's clear what they can do with their potential. So looking forward to blockbuster defensive performance from them come South Africa.
Right. Just continue. Okay, let me bring you back in, Jody. And we have been just opposing between the two series, South Africa and the recent England series. But I was at the match for the England series, the home games, and at times the Sunshine Girls they give us a lot of heartache. We'll be seeing somewhere that we'll be seeing some blood.
I want to say that I'm not going to be overconfident and say that it's going to be a blowout. South Africa is a really great team. They always challenge us. So we're really going to have to work for it without putting out a full 60-minute performance. We didn't do that very well in previous games, so we're really working towards a full 60-minute performance. That is what it's going to take to get us over the line and get us over the line convincingly. So we're really trying to fine-tune all the things that we have been lacking in that series, and hopefully we can put that together for the South Africa series, and that will give us the result that we wanted. And also not give us the Jamaicans a heartache.
That's right. Tell me, Jamaica is ranked number 3 in the world, South Africa number 5. How much of importance should we put to those ranking points? How much importance should we put on it in terms of the quality that will be seen between the two teams?
the quality is still going to be there. Despite the ranking, I feel like every team in the vying for those top positions are within reach whenever we go up against any of the teams that are in vying for top positions. We always find it challenging. So I think that it's really going to be a game, a neck-and-neck game to the final whistle, because South Africa is not going to just walk and give us the win. We're going to have to work for it. So it's really going to be a competitive game, similar to the England game, but hopefully without the heartache.
Most definitely. And Kurt, tell me, in terms of ensuring that the girls don't give Jamaica any more heartache during this series, how much are you working on the fitness? Not just you, but the entire coaching staff working on the fitness so that they can keep that momentum for the 60 minutes?
We have been working hard on the fitness. The good thing for us, they're just coming off the back of a series against England, and we didn't get a lot of break in between, so there's some level of fitness, so we're just trying to build on that going into South Africa. And in addition to the fitness, we have been doing some analyst work. South Africa just finished playing in the African Cup, so we have watched those games and we have analyzed some of the stuff they have been doing there, and we're trying to break that down from our end to see how much we can combat their attacking strengths and their defensive strengths as well.
In the analysis of this game, is it that the coaching staff analyze the game and look at the weaknesses of their opponents and then share it with the team, or you invite the team to watch with you? How does that work?
Well, we invite the team to watch. We don't watch it together. Well, not the coaches and the player. We don't watch it together. But what we do is we make small clips and we look at specific stuff that, that's frequent in their play. So, like, if we realize that there's an attacking play that they use more than once, usually that now becomes a set play, and we identify it as a set play for them, and then we look at stuff that we can do to break that down.
Right.
And we'll share these clips with each other.
Right, and Jody, tell me, what you think will be key for the Sunshine Girls to come out on top come the 18th, 22nd, and the 25th of January? I mean, coaches always talk about keeping the center pass, and I know that's an important thing, but what you think is key for Jamaica to, at the end of the series, lift the trophy?
I think as a unit, as a team, it's not just one end of the court. It starts with the center pass, but it also comes down to the shooting, and there is not a game that is played without errors, so the defense has to be on par as well. So I think it's going to be a team effort. We're going to have to gel together, and we're going to have to come together as a team and put out a performance that is going to get us over the line, and have each other's back as well. Because I feel like if we don't have each other's back, we're going to break down. And that is what we do need in a game or in a series. So I think we're going to have to come together as a team, and we're going to have to work together as a team and get us over the line.
Right. Tell me how important it is for Jamaica to come out and support the Sunshine Girls in this series. I remember being at the England series. I was sitting amongst some of the England supporters, and they were surprised at the level of support that the Sunshine Girls get. They were saying to themselves that they don't even see that sort of a support for the England Roses in England. Tell me, how much did that help you, and how much you welcome Jamaica to come out again and give the team that support?
The crowd was electric. The crowd was there for us when we were in neck and neck with England, and that is what got us over the line. That's the part of what got us over the line. We couldn't have done it without the crowd. And I think this is great for international netball, and it's great for netball in Jamaica as well. We don't get a lot of test series. I think this year is going to be one of the years where we have back-to-back series this cycle. I don't think we have had that very often in the past. So it's really good for us, for netball in Jamaica, and to show that we actually can get support as well. It's not just the big two. Australia and New Zealand, like weekend full crowd as well. And the umpires, they were shocked at the crowd as well, and so was England. And I think the pot covers are going to be important as well.
Most definitely.
Yes, we could hear the pot covers on the court, and that really gave us that extra boost when things were not going well on court. So the crowd needs to be there. So Jamaicans, make sure you come out and you support us, because we're looking forward for that support and bring your pot covers.
Good. And another thing I noticed is that Jamaica, the Sunshine Girls, you were more physical than the England Roses. I mean, you were jumping, skipping all around them. What they, I realized, they were more accurate in their passing. What have you been working on to ensure that you maintain that agility while trying to limit South Africa? I don't know if they're as accurate as England in the passing, but to ensure that South Africa, they don't get the ball from defense to attack as quickly as England did.
Yes, we did identify that, and we have been working hard in training to ensure that we, the full court defense is there to actually get that ball back if there is a turnover. We have been working at areas and looking at other stuff that we can do to counteract their transition plays. And I think that we have come up with a few things. It's going to be interesting to see how well we can execute them. And I think as well, we oftentimes make those silly errors whenever we are under fatigue sometimes. So I feel like we have been working on our fitness. We have been working on our gym and stuff like that. So whenever we're under fatigue, we can actually perform under that fatigue and eliminate all of those errors.
Right, let me bring you back, Coach Kurt. Bree Greason will be making her debut in this series for the Sunshine Girls. She plays for Nottingham Forest netball team, which will be competing in the English Super League this season. Just share to Jamaica who is Bree and the sort of a talent she is.
Yes, she will. Exciting times ahead for Jamaica with Bree coming in. She's a super talent, and she has been playing in the Super League for a number of years now. So she, while not on the international stage, she has that experience playing at a high level. So what she will bring to the squad is invaluable, and it will also help to make the squad more rounded as an attacking unit, and we're looking forward to that. Jamaica, she's quick, she's smart, and she's super athletic, so I think Jamaica will be excited to see her hopefully get her debut in this series.
Right. Tell me, if you were to encourage Jamaica to come out, the quality of play on the court, it needs no mention. But what are some of the other things that you will encourage Jamaica to come out to experience? They want to record this, put this on their Instagram, their TikTok accounts, to let the world know that they were at the Sunshine Girls South Africa series.
Yeah, most definitely. And you mentioned the court, and I know you said that speaks for itself, but I'm just going to just touch on it a little bit, because sometimes you watch netball on TV, and it's quite different from sitting in the stand and experience it from a courtside view. The stuff that happens off the ball sometimes is more exciting than what's happening in the actual play. Usually on TV, you're only seeing the actual play, and on the TV, I think the game looks a bit slower than it actually is. When you're in the stand, you get a full view of the speed, the pace, and the physicality that these ladies play with, and it's just amazing to watch. But what netball also bring, and coming to the stadium, as Julian mentioned, the atmosphere is electric, and netball, it brings people together in a way that, and I've had experience in many sports, but it brings people together in a way that not many other sports can say the same about. It's just like a family environment, and it's just fun, and it's electric. As you see the pot covers on TV, and you get to meet a lot of new people, and people are just friendly, and it's energetic. It's an energetic jovial environment, and it's something, as you said, it's good for social media, because when you get caught with that pot cover lady in the background and the vibes and the energy, you know, it's good for social media. So if you're trying to boost your TikTok account, you can probably come and carry a pot cover as well, and you might go viral. Who knows?
And you all had a flag bearer there also. I was wondering if Capleton was a supporter of the Sunshine Girls.
I mean, at this point, the Sunshine Girls are the best ranked national team in the country. I think everybody should be a supporter of them at the moment. So they're doing their thing, and I mean, everybody should come on board, and don't let anybody force you, or don't let anybody tell you. You should try it for yourself. Just like when you're thinking about food and you see something new and you want, you don't know if you should try it or not, and you probably just try it to know it tastes. You should come out and just give it a chance, give netball a chance, because sometimes most persons know netball at the high school and at the community level, and it's at this level, at the national level, it's a different intensity. And until you experience that, you don't truly know. So I just encourage people, you don't have to take my word for it, but just give it a chance. It's only, I think, $2,000 or $2,500 for the ticket. Just come out, just to support the girls, and you'll be surprised how much you enjoy the atmosphere of the game itself.
Most definitely. And Jordan, let me give you the final word. Just to say thanks to everyone who have been supporting netball over the years, sponsors, supporters, family. Just to say thanks to everyone and encourage them, like Kurt did, to come out and support the Sunshine Girls.
Yes, the Sunshine Girls, we're always appreciative of all the support that we have been getting. All our sponsors that are on board, we are looking for new sponsors as well. So if you're out there, you want to support the Sunshine Girls, just, hit up Netball Jamaica, and we can go from there. But thank you to all the sponsors that are already on board, all the supporters, the persons that came to the England game. We thank you for that. We really do appreciate you being there, and you supporting us, and you getting us over the line when it matters most. And we're gonna need that in the South Africa series as well. So come out again and bring your pot covers, bring your friend, bring your sister, bring your auntie, and everybody just come out and have fun. It's gonna be a really fun environment to be in. So just come out and enjoy yourself.
Okay, Julian. Okay, thanks much. And like here, Jordan and Kurt say, the entire Jamaica should come out and support the Sunshine Girls January 18, 22, and 25. The series against South Africa at the National Indoor Sports Centre. Again, Kurt Dale and Jordan Ward, thank you very much for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us.
No problem. Thanks much.
It's my pleasure. Kurt Dale, specialist coach of the Sunshine Girls, and Sunshine Girls defender Jordan Ward. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify
your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We join Wayne at the JC for another update on what's happening at the Pure Water JCR Danny Williams track and field meet. Wayne, good evening.
Good evening to you, Alric. We're still here at the Jamaica College, the 100 meters class 1 boys. There's a field event going on at the moment, and it's 15 of them, and I think we're now at number 9. The 15 heats, and then right after this, we'll have the 100 meters for senior men. So we're coming to the end of the class 1 boys 100, and then we'll go straight into the senior men. And I think that will do it for the evening, Ian Forbes. All right, yeah. But we've got just quite a few of the results for you. Jamal Stevenson from Calabar, he broke the record, 10:43. The previous record, 10:55. And you know, the winner of the second heat was Kendrick Sharp from St. Mary's Tech. He did 10:54 inside of the old record. And all these times are lifetime best performances. Kendrick Sharp is 10:54. He's from St. Mary's Tech. That was a personal best for him. Jabari Matheson from William Nidis, 10:65, was also a lifetime best. And also Romario Finnegan from Edwin Allen, he did 10:89. And Dequan Mirage, we just saw him one in 10:77. That's also a lifetime best for him. And as I said, it's very, very cool conditions here at Jamaica College. Marlando Farquharson from Cornwall College, one of the class 1 boys, shot in 17 meters 95. That also was a lifetime best for him. As I said before, the performances are really, really good at this stage of the competition. And again, the cool conditions is aiding the athletes. They were coming to about the 9th, I think, or the 10th of the 15 sections in the 100 meters for class 1 boys. And they were closed out with the senior men's 100 meters. Earlier when we spoke with you, we had Mr. Ian Forbes, who's in charge of the organizing committee. We also had the chairman as well. And then we also have 2 more Jamaica College alumni here. The principal, Mr. Wade Robinson. How are you, sir? Happy New Year to you. Yes. And Michael, how are you doing? Great. Let me just have a quick chat with both of you. Let me start with the principal. Mr. Robinson, I did talk to Mr. Forbes about it, and also the chairman as well. How do you hear at Jamaica College do something like this for it to look so good this early in the year? Normally when you look at events like these, it's deep down in the year, so people have time to plan it and to properly do everything. You've done it in 4 days into the year. I know it's previous planning, but to have it this good this early.
Well, you hit the nail on the head with previous planning. I think this is our 31st week, so we do have a bit of experience doing this. And it is a part of our calendar, so we start planning from the end of the month before. So there's also a lot of expertise going into the planning itself. This year has been a particularly good year because I think this is the largest turnout we've had for a couple of years. I think there's 61 schools there and 1,800, 1,700 to 1,800 athletes, and that's a big meet. And I just looked at the live results coming from Bruce's World Class. It's really, really good. So I think we've done a reasonably good job. It's an improvement on what we've done before, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah. The big one is later this year. There's a school celebrating 100, and the folks talking that their helmets and oiling it. How is JC looking for champs? I mean, it's early still, but how are you looking in terms of, you've got a new coach to begin with?
Well, we are going to be there. You can bet on that. We're going to turn. Where to go, I don't know, but we're going to give it our best shot. We have a new coach, that's Dwayne Johnson. He's a JC World boy, and he's very experienced at this. And there's a kind of new air and motivation in the camp. So let's see what we do.
Mr. Principal, thank you so much. For the year. Michael, if I could just quickly grab a hold of you. It's a big year. Every year seems to be a big year for JC. You missed out on the Manning Cup at the back end of last year, and so Champs is coming up. And every time I talk to a JC old boy, that's what they're talking about. Champs is here, Champs is here. Not only to win it for JC, but I suppose they have business to settle elsewhere to spoil a centenary celebration. I don't know. But how are you looking?
Well, I can't speak to how the Jamaica College team is looking. You have to ask Ian Forbes or Wayne Robinson. But I speak to Pure Water, who's the sponsor of this meet, and we've been doing this now for, I believe, almost 10 years now.
10 years?
Yes. Marcy, I was associated with this meet from in the 90s, with Ian when we were at Jamaica Biscuit Company.
But your association with Pure Water is like 10 years now.
We're approaching that.
It just seems like it is longer.
Not for Pure Water, but certainly for my personal association and Ian. Yes.
Yeah. So how's it, the association? I mean, it's also a name change for the meet itself, because you've added Pure Water to the name.
Absolutely. It first started as Jambisco. Track meet when I was GM of Jamaica Biscuit Company and Ian was the marketing manager. We were the founders of the meet. And then we had changes at one point in time with another brand and then another. And about 10 years ago, Pure Water took it over. So our association with the meet is one that we value very, very highly because it presents us with an opportunity to introduce all these athletes who come from different parts of Jamaica with the Pure Water environment. So our challenge really is to ensure that this meet continues and that we continue to support it to ensure that the development of our athletes, first meet in the year, pretty much continues. And so it's something we are really proud of.
The sort of association with JC, is it exclusive or you Pure Water is associated with other development means?
We are associated with other development means. For example, I believe we are associated with the prep school meet, right? Along with others. I remember there's one for example, in the western end of the island. So we are involved in 10K, not 5K rather. Yes, and other track and field meets. Football, a number of different sponsorship opportunities we use to expose our brands to consumers and also to support sports different areas.
Yeah, I'm sure you've gotten a lot from this, JC, because the fact that you've added the name to the meet, it ensures that your product is advertised every time the meet is advertised.
Absolutely. And it's something we are proud of, really. And my being a JC old boy helps to ensure that the support continues and that we also get the benefits, mutual benefits, JC and Pure Water from it.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Yeah. So we're right here still at the JC Pure Water Danny Williams track meet here at Jamaica College. Alric, as he mentioned, Michael from Pure Water is also a member of the board here at Jamaica College as well. And I can tell you what, this meet pretty much is setting the standard for what's to come. And if the other meets around the country this year can look like this in terms of the organization, the punctuality in terms of the meet running on time, the athletes getting to their areas very quickly, the spectators are here as well. It's a really, really nice evening of track and field, and they're doing well. They're going to be closed off shortly because the men's 100 meters, there are only 2 segments, so that we'll have another report. But let's see. If I do, I'll touch base with the office.
No problem. Okay, again, thank you, Wayne. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Z Jamaica Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom, celebrating the achievements of over 100 students and teachers who have achieved certification. Special guest speaker, Dr. Denzel Williams. Presentation by Zebra Robotics Canada. Sponsors, Lasco, Mothers, and Optimity. Tickets available for purchase at ztechnologies.aitix.com or contact 876-880-3301 or 876-499-3157. And tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Z Robotics Conference, Tuesday, January 7, 2025, at the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Z Technologies.
Attention all data protection enthusiasts.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM every Tuesday at 8:20 a.m. and Thursday at 8:25 a.m. for a new program, Data Protection Matters. Starting June 4, 2024, join us as we delve into crucial topics that will keep you informed and compliant. Data Protection Matters is hosted by Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy, your trusted partner in data protection. Don't miss out. That's every Tuesday morning at 8:20 and every Thursday at 8:25 a.m. Stay protected, stay informed with Nationwide 90 FM and Design Privacy.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. We're in our NFL segment now, the Jerome Gridiron. Let me just turn it right over to Jerome Jarrett, the anchor for this segment. I won't say anything about the Liverpool-Manchester United game tomorrow. So I'll just add it over to Jerome.
Good afternoon, Eric.
Good evening.
Happy New Year.
Good evening, Happy New Year.
Afternoon, listeners. Happy New Year to everybody in Raiderland. Happy New Year to my two co-hosts, Remy Evans and Paul Vaughan. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Doing well, Jerome. I'm good, my brother.
New Year. Yeah, man.
Happy New Year, boss. Happy New Year, Alex.
Blessings.
Awesome.
Happy New Year, Remy.
Alex is trying to start off the new year on the wrong foot, and I'm not going there with him this afternoon.
No, man, the right foot down.
No. You're not going to jam me. It's a new year. It's a new year. I'm a changed person. Things of the things of the old. I've turned a new page, and Manchester United.
Yeah, Man U not turn a page though.
Alec is giving me a tempting offer doing that. I'm thinking hard about. I'm thinking long. Alex said if Manchester United wins the game, he wears a Manchester United jersey next week. But I don't think that make Alex size. That's the thing. I don't think baby small is I don't think Man U make baby small.
I'll especially order it just for that.
No, it's not going to come in time.
No, but I know it's not. I won't have to because it's not gonna happen.
It's not going to come in time, Alex.
Man U cannot beat us. I mean, after tomorrow, when I write the sports news, I will say relegation threatened. Manchester United lost to league leaders Liverpool.
But what kind of journalism that is this? Is this the kind of journalism Nationwide purports?
No, I am telling you what's gonna happen.
No, what kind of journalism is that?
We're gonna beat Man U, and then they're going to drop.
How is Man United relegation threatened? What kind of journalism?
Because they're gonna drop into the relegation zone.
How we dropping relegation zone? We're 15th. That's mid-table. How is that relegation?
And how far are you from 18th?
Let's have some credible journalism.
No, I'm just saying when you see it and then you see they're in the relegation battle and
you know the Lord tell me to take the bet. But I will not go there. Gentlemen, let's jump into where Jerome was right, where Jerome was wrong. I mean, we've not been on the air for a couple weeks, so we let's just jump right into where Jerome was wrong and do an entire season. Because this week is the last week of the NFL season. A lot has already been determined And Jerome made some bold predictions at the beginning of the year, and a lot of them, seem not to come true. Jerome was wrong. Jerome believe that the Chiefs and the 49ers would have made it to a third Super Bowl in 5 years. That's not going to happen. The 49ers, and I'm going to say it's injuries. I'm going to say it's injuries. A lot has happened with the 49ers all year. Their starting wide receiver got shot right before the season. Trent Williams lost a child. Another player lost a child. Brandon Ayuk went down. A lot has happened with the 49ers. So my prediction went awry a little bit, Paul. Is it my fault, or is it really all the issues surrounding the 49ers that caused it?
I mean, when you look at their season, you're right. There were several injuries, some off-the-field issues. But I think we also have to look into the factor that this is a team that over the past 4 seasons, they've played in what I would think to be considered 2 Super Bowls and at least a conference championship. That's a lot of football. And so you're talking about attrition, you're talking about, guys who really play longer seasons than most teams, and that catches up to you. I think after a while, some of this was expected. It's just that it happened in volumes that one would say is unprecedented. I mean, one of the major injuries that really hampered them was Christian McCaffrey, who was so critical to their offense from the run and the pass game. And then on top of it, you have a quarterback who, while he's capable, one could argue that without his weapons, he's just a guy. So a lot of it is just coming down to the injury bug and then the attrition that catches up the teams.
Yeah, and Jerome couldn't predict that. Where Jerome was wrong. where Jerome was wrong. Jerome felt like the Philadelphia Eagles, last year they had a really, really rough end to the year, and it started out this year not so great either. We've heard fractions with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. We've heard fractions with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. A lot has happened around the Philadelphia Eagles, but that franchise seemed to be able to turn out players and turn out wins at a high rate. And before you know it, they are 13-3 and in the thick of the playoffs. Remy, Jerome was wrong about the Eagles. Is that just the Eagles, rising to the occasion, or I was just completely off where the Eagles are concerned?
I think it's a little both. I mean, we know you have an NFC East bias, so you don't really see clearly when you talk about these teams. I mean, I'm willing to forgive you for that. But at the same time, I think the biggest change for the Eagles have come on the defensive side of the ball. Because, I mean, last year, they were just giving up a lot of big plays in the passing game, and they just really couldn't stop anybody from throwing the football. I think with the addition of Vic Fangio, some rookies in the secondary, the defense has transformed into, I believe they're the number 1 scoring defense in the league. Saquon Barkley, which could be, termed as the offensive acquisition or best free agent acquisition in the whole NFL, has had transformed.
That's New York.
Defense. I'm sure that's how you feel, Paul. I don't blame you. So when you combine, Saquon along with one of the top offensive lines, outstanding wide receivers, good tight end, a good overall talent on both sides of the ball. I mean, I'm not surprised that the Eagles are in the running. So, but like I say, I'm in that division. I know my rivals very well.
Yeah, where Jerome was wrong, as you talk about Saquon Barkley, I mean, I'm on record, on several times to say that, Saquon is overrated. I've said it and I'll stand by it. I mean, I don't look great now saying it, but at the time he was injury prone. He's never played a full season.
That's not true. He has played full season.
I think he's played one. I think he's played one full season, not seasons.
A couple full seasons,
right? But I'm on record to say Saquon Barkley is overrated. But Jesus, I have to eat those words right now, Paul. Saquon really, really took my words to heart, and he's ripping up the league. How could I have been so wrong?
I mean, it's typical. So we kind of let it slide. But to put all fun and joke aside, Saquon Barkley is an extremely talented running back. I think if you put Walter Payton on that New York Giants team, he couldn't have produced either. And it's really just a player who has supreme talent from the running back position that kind of found himself in a place where he has a very capable, if not excellent, offensive line and other weapons around him that allows his skills and his competencies to kind of rise to the top. And you're talking about a running back in this day and age of football being an MVP candidate. You have to really tip your hat to him. He's great in the run game. He's great in pass protection. He's great with catching the ball. I mean, he does everything well. He does great interviews. He seems to be a great leader in the locker room, and I'm really happy to see where he's at. I mean, honestly, I couldn't have predicted this, but seeing it as it's playing out, it's a beautiful thing to see.
It could not have happened to a nicer guy. You know, he appears by all indication that he's a nice guy. So I'll eat the crow there. Where Jerome was wrong, Remy. You know, I'm gonna stop saying that players can't miss, right? And these rookies, you know, they are generational type, you know, talents. You know, Caleb Williams is not it. Caleb Williams is not it. And I've seen all the rookies play this year. I've seen Bo Nix. I've seen Jen Daniels. I've seen Drake May. And now we see Michael Penix. Caleb Williams is the only one that makes it look hard. I don't know, Remy.
Go to the Bears though.
Am I out too quickly? But Caleb Williams is just not it. He's just not it for me. I don't see the special.
Well, what I'll say is this: it's not been a good first year for Caleb Williams, and it's not all on him. I think there are a number of reasons. Number one, I think the Bears. Let's keep in mind the Bears are notorious for not developing quarterbacks. As a matter of fact, they have never developed a quarterback in the franchise history, if memory serves me correct. Number two, they have a porous offensive line. Remember at one point early in the season, they could not run the ball if their lives depending on it. And when you don't have the offensive line, especially the rookie quarterback, and the speed of the game is so much different. The jump from college to the NFL is a different thing. And one weakness I see with Caleb Williams is that he tends to look at the rush quicker than the other quarterbacks I've seen. And I hope that he's not ruined after one season.
Remy, I don't know what you're saying. Drake May don't have no running game either. Drake May doesn't have a running game either. Daniels don't have a running game to speak of either.
No, Ramondre Stevenson, the Patriots can actually run the ball a little bit. Okay, what the Patriots don't have is outside weapons. So I'm not saying that again. I'm not saying that it's all on the scheme or supporting cast. I think some of it's on Caleb Williams. And one of his flaws is that he will bail a little early and he'll look at the rush too soon. And don't like to stand in there and he tries to play hero ball. That is on him.
He's
I
taking
think
sacks.
The coaches have to coach that out of him. I hope they have not ruined him after one season. I mean, he was put in a good situation. I mean, what appeared to be a good situation in terms of wide receivers. But offensive coordinator Shane Waldron was never sold on him. I knew the offensive line was not good. And I think the fact that, you know, some pundits were hyping the Bears as a potential Super Bowl pick, especially one Mr. Nick Wright. I think that all of these things factor into creating a huge pressure cooker for Caleb Williams. And I just don't think he was ready for it. We will see.
He's not it. I'm of all the quarterbacks so far that's played this year, I mean, Jane Daniels has looked the most impressive. Bo Nix have looked like he's a veteran. He's not the most flashy, but he definitely looked like he can play. Michael Penix now looks like he is the quarterback of the future for the.
I'm sold on Penix. I'm sold on Penix.
Remember before that draft, I told you Michael Penix when Atlanta was on the clock. You and I were in my living room, and I said Atlanta is gonna take Michael Penix because he can play. He can play. Caleb Williams make it look hard. I don't know. He just makes it look harder than the others. As bad as both the New England Patriots offensive staff is, Drake May look like there's something there. Like,
I agree with that.
There is something there. But Caleb Williams just he's not hitting out routes. He's not hitting slants. He's not. There's nothing that's working for Caleb Williams. I don't know. It's really bad, but
once he's under pressure, he gets flustered. If he has time, Caleb will play well, and that's what I've seen this season.
I'm done saying
unfortunately, in NFL, most teams can rush the passer, so he's gonna have it rough until he figures that out.
It's a bad look. But anyway, talking about bad look, Paul, let me start with you here. The aforementioned Saquon Barkley is 101 yards away from Eric Dickerson's 40-year-old NFL rushing record. The Eagles are playing this weekend, but they are pretty much locked into that number 2 spot and can't move any further. So the coach has taken a decision to rest all starters, including Saquon Barkley, 100 yards away from a 40-year-old record. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Whether this is the right move for the team, the right move for Saquon Barkley, or this could be a locker room controversy just waiting to happen.
I didn't simplify it like this. I think as someone who watches the sport, loves the sport, and is a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't necessarily like the decision. But I think when you remove your emotion from it, I understand that, I get it, and I think it is ultimately the right thing to do, because the reality of it is if Saquon goes for this record, he can't go out there without having the starting O-lineman out there. You're also going to need the receivers who block for you as well to go out there, and you're pretty much putting the entire team or the entire offense at risk to pursue this. You want to match that up against the fact that this is an all-time NFL rushing record. You're only 101 yards from it. And, the emotional side of me is, at least we can go there and play a half and see how much he can get. It's the New York Giants. It's a team that basically threw him out like yesterday's trash. Being a running back and having the capability to accomplish something like this in today's version of the game is great. But the mission is the mission, and the mission is the Super Bowl. And if it means you want to play the card of being healthy and being ready, I'm all for it and I support it. As much as it might hurt me to not see it happen.
Remy, is this buying Nick Sirianni credit in the locker room, or this is something that can potentially blow up in his face?
Well, from what I understand, Sirianni kind of left it up to the players. And, I think they're in unison as far as focusing on the mission, as Paul said, because there's not really much I can add. I think Paul summed it up, eloquently. It's not just about Saquon. I mean, if you go out there to try and get this record and you put, your starting O-line, your receivers, and let's say, Devontae Smith gets hurt, or A.J. Brown, or Lane Johnson gets hurt, when you keep...
They can get hurt the first play. They can get hurt the first play of the playoff game. It's football.
Well, that's different. It's a playoff game. That's a meaningful game. Right? I would rather somebody gets hurt in a meaningful game than a game that means absolutely nothing when it's all said and done. Put all your chips in.
Does it mean nothing for Saquon Barkley? Do you think this game mean nothing for your number one player?
Sure, Saquon Barkley.
Well, you just made the point. Saquon is one player.
Yeah,
he's the leader of that team. Or maybe one of the leaders on that team. And when you hear the interview that he did, you hear the disappointment. He's 100 yards away from that record. That record is something that he will never get close to again. The offensive linemen, I'm sure they would love to be part of this this record. He's already achieved 2,000 yards. You're 100 yards away. At least let them play a half. Let them play the first quarter. See where you are at the end of the first quarter.
Something? Okay, we'll play a half. And Saquon, who you just said earlier in the program, is injury prone. So he has survived a 16-game, going to be 17-game season. You put him up there for a half, and he hurts a hamstring, or worse. What happens then?
That's football.
Should Jeffrey Lurie? No, that's not football. That's being stupid.
No, that's football.
What does Jeffrey Lurie do then?
That's football.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a fireable offense, because the Eagles are a legit Super Bowl contender. You're not going to put your most important player or players at risk for a game that is just for a record. If the Eagles needed to win the game, or if it was going to affect their seeding, I could understand. But the outcome matters nil.
Josh Allen is going to play one snap tomorrow just to keep a streak alive.
Okay.
He's going to play one snap.
Okay,
right.
He's going to play one snap.
That's a weak argument.
No, I'm saying he can get hurt in warm-ups. He can blow a hamstring in warm-ups, just trying to get ready to take one snap.
Zero.
All I'm saying is football.
As the Eagles
It's
fan
football.
in this conversation, as I said to you, I want to see him go for it. But you make decisions when you talk about assessing risk, where you look at the big picture. Saquon is one player, and him going after a record is about his accolades, and you could extend it to the offensive line. The team has a bigger objective, and if the team, both the leaders on the offense and the defense and the coaching staff say, yo, the risk is too high, I can't argue with that.
10 years from now,
it's them man that put themselves on the line.
10 years from now, he's going to regret this decision. I'm just telling you, he's going to regret the decision 10 years
If
from
he
now.
win a Super Bowl, he will sleep well at night.
The Eagles are not winning no Super Bowl.
And if he gets a Super Bowl ring.
Eagles are not winning the Super Bowl. And this just means that
It sounds more
these
like
just means no.
for you, but we understand your bad mind.
This just means no.
Let me tell you, the thing that you're assuming is, okay, let's say they go for the record.
You're also assuming that they're winning the Super Bowl, which we know is the hardest thing to do in the world.
No, what I'm saying is you're assuming that if they play tomorrow, that they get the record against the Giants.
I think there's a good chance.
I don't think that's a good assumption.
I think it's a very good chance. He is motivated. The team is motivated.
And so are the New York Giants. You think they want the guy who they gave away to come in there and embarrass them?
Stop.
You have a one-sided way to look on things.
Stop me. Stop me. That's all I'm saying. Stop me. But anyway, let's move on. So we have probably the closest MVP race we've seen in a really, really long time.
Which is that?
Let me start with you, Remy. Since you're full of chat. We see Josh Allen as the prohibitive favorite to win the MVP. Lamar Jackson
says who?
Vegas. He's minus one.
Vegas says that. Oh, okay.
He's minus 120. Lamar is plus 250 to win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So both players have played out of this world. Both players have over 40 total touchdowns. Lamar has more yards. I think he has more touchdowns as well. He's lost more games. Josh Allen has lost less games. And with less talent as well. Josh Allen has no Pro Bowlers on that team. Lamar Jackson has 9 Pro Bowlers on the Baltimore Ravens. The Bills have 1 Pro Bowler, Josh Allen. And I think Brian Dawkins, if I'm not mistaken, is also no, I don't think he made a Pro Bowl this year. But anyway, Remy, let me ask you, who's the MVP for the season?
Lamar Jackson.
All right, make a case.
I don't think it's close. I think this is a media narrative, and I'll tell you why. Lamar Jackson already has 40 touchdown passes, and he could have more because he's still playing right now. So the game's not over yet. Right? He's also rushed for 800 yards. He has the highest passer rating in history of the NFL for a single season. He also is leading the league in QBR. And head-to-head against Josh Allen, people forget the Baltimore Ravens smoked the Buffalo Bills 35-10. Lamar's worst game doesn't even compare to Josh Allen's worst game. People want to forget that Josh Allen had a game where he went 9 for 30. That's 30% against the Houston Texans, right? Which is a complete embarrassment. Okay.
Oh my God.
People want to forget that game ever existed. I think it's a case of voter fatigue. I think because Lamar's already had 2 MVPs, and I think that Josh Allen is a media darling, and I think they want to give Josh Allen the award. If you compare the statistics, it's cheese to chalk. I'm not saying that Josh Allen can't play. I'm not saying that Josh Allen hasn't had a good season. But if you compare what you see on the field and you compare what you see statistically, there is no comparison between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And that is and you're like Josh Allen.
Paul, I'm giving you an opportunity to are you going to counter or are you going to support his argument?
Look, this MVP, I think particularly this season, is a narrative award.
It's always a narrative award.
If we're going to look at but if you look at the numbers, there's no competition. It's 39 TDs to Allen's 28. 4 interceptions for Lamar Jackson to Allen's 6. And if you want to talk about running the football, Lamar almost had 900 yards rushing, brother, to the man 530.
again, it's not a
You're
stats
talking
award.
about a
It's
man
not.
that
It's
in
not
every
solely a stats
statistical
award.
category. It might not be only a stats award. When it comes down to it, football is football, and the man is outperforming this brother in every category and every measurable. Why are we having the conversation about Allen winning unless it's a matter of people getting a certain level of fatigue? It's similar to what happened in the Jordan years when the Charles Barkley's of the world won an MVP. Everybody knew Michael Jordan was the man. I think Lamar leaps and bounds in terms of his performance. In fact, I could even argue that Joe Burrow is having a better season than Josh Allen, if you ask me, when you want to bring in the whole factor of talent around him and other issues that he must to overcome. He has no defense, and this man is out there balling every game. So I don't really want to hear the whole Allen thing. I think it is more of him being preferred by the media, and they're pushing that narrative to win him the award this season.
Why would you say Josh Allen is preferred to the media? Josh Allen has never been leading the MVP discussion in any season. This is the first season to say that he's a media darling. I don't buy that narrative. I get where you're coming from.
Can I just say something?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
In a game where he went 9 for 30, right? You really think that he'd be talked about as an MVP candidate? The media would never let you forget it.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson has been through. They've lost 5 games.
One of the narratives was
they've lost 5 games
recently. Hold on. You mean the Baltimore Ravens have lost 5 games?
That's what I said.
Remember, you know.
That's what I said.
Right.
They've lost 5 games.
Right. So what about Lamar's performances in those losses? Has he played badly in those losses, or that was when the first half of the season when the Ravens defense was playing like absolute trash?
So my thing is the Baltimore Ravens have not played like trash all season. I don't even know anything about that.
Defensively, they made adjustments. They moved Kyle Hamilton back to free safety instead of strong.
Yeah, man, they've made adjustments.
And the defense has taken off ever since.
To say they play like trash is
they were giving up 280 yards passing a game, Jerome.
Yeah, but we've seen Baltimore Ravens in the regular season. We've seen Lamar Jackson do this every year. Like we've come to expect these performances from Lamar Jackson every year. Every year, Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens are the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed or you know.
Sounds like you are buying into
that. So just tell us that you're tired of the man being the best and done.
No, but is Lamar Jackson the best? Is he the best? Is he the best?
Yes.
In a world where Patrick Mahomes still exists?
He's having the best season, and he's having the MVP season amongst our quarterbacks right now.
Is he? Or he's putting up the best number? Because if you're talking about numbers, again, you mentioned Joe Burrow. The numbers that Joe Burrow is putting up, there's only 3 persons that have ever done what Joe Burrow has done. And all 3 are MVPs.
Manning and Tom Brady. We already know.
Aaron Rodgers. Right? So it can't be a numbers game only, right? Because if it's a numbers game, then Joe Burrow should be the MVP. But Joe Burrow has lost 8 games.
I mean, Remy, if it's paint a picture for you where the Ravens whooped on Josh Allen.
That was early in the season. Come on. It was early in the season.
Okay, my bad.
It was very early in the season. It matters. They didn't play head to head. Lamar Jackson didn't play Josh Allen. No, hold on. Lamar Jackson didn't play Josh Allen. He played the Ravens defense. But
no, you can't, Jerome. You can't.
Let me.
How many games? You have obviously went to separate quarterbacks matching up against you.
But you have to.
Oh, you are a convenient individual.
But you have to be. But what I'm saying is, when you look on the talent that both players have on their rosters, nobody expected Josh Allen to be where he is today. When last season, when they overhauled the wide receiver room in Buffalo, when they let go of,
must give him an MVP.
When they let go of, they let go of Stephon Diggs, they let go of Gabe Davis, right? They completely overhauled the wide receiver room.
Okay.
His number 1 target at the midpoint in the season, he had no number 1 receiver. They had to trade for Amari Cooper. They had to trade for Amari Cooper.
On the back and give him an MVP award for that.
He's throwing to Shakir. He's throwing to Shakir. He's throwing to Matt Hollins. Right? His 2 tight end, Kincaid and Dalton Knox, been in and out of the lineup. James Cook,
So with all that said,
they've been in and out of the lineup.
Okay.
When you talk about Lamar Jackson, let me talk about what Lamar Jackson has working with.
My answer question is Josh Allen the MVP.
Is he the MVP for me?
Yes.
I think.
Hell no.
No, hold on. Sorry, but you asked me a question. You asked me a question and you not give me a chance to answer. I am saying.
You have me here for 5 minutes and listen to you break this down and your no man.
No, because there should be a case where we can have a co-MVP. I really think it's that close. I really think it's that close. I really think it's that close.
Really a Manchester United.
That's a couple, Jerome.
No, I really think it's that close. No. Because you guys are making it sound like Josh Allen is chop liver, like he doesn't deserve to be in the conversation. You said it's chalk and cheese. Somebody says it's chalk and cheese. One person said it's not in the same galaxy.
And Jerome, you should understand this thing called nuance in a conversation.
No, but you said it's chalk and cheese. What does chalk and cheese mean? It means one is not in the same galaxy as the other. That's what you're saying.
I also said that Josh Allen can play and he's having a great season.
No. Stop it. Don't patronize the man. Don't patronize the man. But he's having a great season. Come on.
I would actually rather have a conversation about Tom Brady right
Josh
now.
Allen is having an all-world season. What he's doing.
But yet still you think it's close. You can't say
because like you said,
what you're doing is you're just saying stuff you don't believe.
No, because like you said, Lamar Jackson's having a better statistical year.
Something else then.
No, Lamar is having a better statistical year than Josh Allen. But the impact of Josh Allen, if Josh Allen was not on the Buffalo Bills, they would be 3-13.
So what would the Ravens team be if Lamar wasn't on it?
Right where they are right now. You're
full of you know what? Change it up.
You have Derrick Henry, who is a Pro Bowler. You have Zay Flowers, who is a Pro Bowler.
Okay, I didn't know I was on first.
They have two really, really good. The Ravens have 9 Pro Bowlers. Let me just stop there. So, the Ravens have 9 Pro Bowlers on their team. The Buffalo Bills have 1, and that's Josh Allen. Right? So Josh Allen for me, if you're gonna ask me who is the MVP, Lamar Jackson is having a very good statistical year. But if you're talking stats, then Joe Burrow should be the MVP. So it's not a stats argument. If it's an impact argument, Josh Allen. Again, if it's a wins argument we're talking about, then let's bring back Patrick Mahomes in the conversation because they are the only 15-1 team.
So who you think, Jerome?
If you're forcing me to make a decision, then I am going to say Josh Allen. If you're forcing me to make a decision, it's my show now. But if you're forcing me to make a decision, I'm going to choose Josh Allen.
I feel like
Eric over there enjoying this. This is beautiful radio. But
I know that's why you're doing it. I know you don't believe a word you're saying.
No. I believe with every fiber in my word that Josh Allen, while Lamar Jackson, he's the better athlete.
Come back in the new year with this.
He's the better athlete. I believe that Josh Allen is having the better season. I think he is. I've seen Lamar Jackson do this over and over and over and over again. Josh Allen, what Josh Allen is doing with the talent that he has right now is remarkable, and should be the MVP.
Just because you at the start of the season did expect Buffalo to make the playoff because that was one of your bold proclamations, and I told you that the Bills would be fine, and I told you exactly why they'd be fine, and I even talked about their skill position.
Because we didn't know.
Just because you get it wrong, that don't say that all of us got it wrong.
The Bills.
Move right along.
Josh Allen will be the MVP.
It is where Jerome was wrong, so I guess in some way.
You got that wrong. I didn't get it wrong. So you can move along with that. Don't include me in that.
Josh Allen will be the MVP, and you're going to realize it soon enough. But anyway, the Baltimore Ravens are currently beating up on the Cleveland Browns. I think the last score I saw was 21-3. Is that still the score, gentlemen? You're near our TV?
Yeah, that's still the score.
That is the score.
And they should be able to hold on to that victory. If Baltimore wins, they win the NFC North. The AFC North and will host a playoff game. The Pittsburgh Steelers play later on tonight. If Baltimore wins, the Pittsburgh Steelers is I think they're the number 6 seed or number 7 seed, and will play on the road. Baltimore should be able to handle business. Coming up next, the Pittsburgh Steelers host the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati needs this win to keep their playoff hopes alive. If they win and Miami loses and Denver loses, the Cincinnati Bengals are the 7th seed. They travel to Pittsburgh. I think the Bengals are favored in this game. Pittsburgh have really had a rough last couple of weeks. I think they have lost 3 straight. But this is a division game. This is a pride game. This is a home game. I can't see Cincinnati coming into Pittsburgh and beating the Pittsburgh Steelers team. Give me Pittsburgh by a field goal. Paul?
A tough game to pick. I agree with the fact that it is a division rivalry, and I'm just looking at this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. They concern me. They seem to hit a wall. I think defenses have been able to figure them out and figure out Russell Wilson. One of the descriptions is he's either a 3-pointer or a layup. He has no mid-range game, and it's very true. And that can be telling in terms of predictability. And then on the other side of the field, it's looking at Joe Burrow and his offense, which, as we discussed before, the man having an MVP-type season. Believe it or not, I just think that the Bengals have something to play for, whereas the Steelers, win or lose, still make it to the playoffs. And I think the Bengals going to pull off a win in Pittsburgh today.
Can't agree. Ermi?
I'm on the same page with you, Jerome. It's hard for me to see the Steelers laying an egg, four games in a row. I mean, Paul made a lot of good points, but I think one thing we'll also have to remember is that, the Bengals were very lucky to survive the Denver Broncos last week, and I think, and that was at home. So, a division game, Steelers have their pride. I think George Pickens coming back, getting some extra rest with that, hamstring injury. And he has been a thorn in the Bengals side over the years. I think the Steelers win this, a close game. I mean, I don't really see any favorite or underdog in this game when the line is a point and a half. It's a real pick-em game. I'll go with the Steelers at home.
All right. Another game that has significant playoff implication. The Atlanta Falcons host the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta, if they win and the Bucks lose, they win the NFC South. Really tough game. I love the way Michael Penix have been playing since he was inserted in the starter. Bijan Robinson, oh my God, that youth can play. Give me Atlanta at home to beat a Carolina team who is a very dangerous team. I don't know if it's maybe the end of year. They've picked it up, and next year I don't know if we're going to have this conversation again next year. But the Carolina Panthers team looks like a dangerous team. But Remy, give me Atlanta Falcons at home.
I don't think Carolina looks dangerous at all. They gave up almost a 50 burger last week against Tampa Bay. Those cats have no claws. I'm not worried about them at all. I think the Falcons, they showed me a lot last week. I was very impressed with the poise of Michael Penix in his second start in a nationally televised game where, a great game came down to the wire. I like the Falcons' skill positions. Bijan Robinson is a fantastic running back. I heard people saying they're going to take him first overall in fantasy next year.
Definitely.
I love the skill positions. I mean, Penix made even Kyle Pitts look good. That being said, I definitely think, this should be you don't want to say anything is that give me in the NFL, but I'd be shocked if the Falcons lose this game. I think Atlanta wins comfortably.
All right, Paul. I'm not sure. Does Washington have anything to play for in this game? Are they locked into their seed? No,
they can move. They can move up or go down.
They can move up.
Okay, so everybody's playing. They traveled to Dallas this week to take on a Dallas Cowboys team that has shown some fight. Last week they were routed, but they've shown some fight. They take on a Washington team this week that's coming in, looking to shore up their playoff position. Dallas is underdog by 5.5 points. Well, is it 5.5? They're underdogs by
6.5.
By 6.5 points. Well, I think it's 4.5. I think that's a lot for a team at home. Paul, do you agree with the line, and do you think Washington should win? I have Washington win the game, but I don't know if 4.5 is the line.
No, I agree with that line. Have you seen Dallas at home this season? Even with Dak Prescott, they have not won a game. They're garbage. And that's not me really trying to rag on them. I think this team has pretty much kind of checked it in for the season. They don't have CeeDee Lamb. They don't have a run game. They've already let go of Ezekiel Elliott. I think Mike McCarthy is dealing with just the threat of him not having a contract renewed. Dallas has their mindset the next season, and I think Washington is moving forward and is more intent on playing football. So, Commanders for me.
All right. Remy, the Green Bay Packers host the Chicago Bears. Chicago has lost, I think, 11 straight games. Green Bay Packers trying to get some momentum heading into the playoffs. I think this is a gimme for the Green Bay Packers. Give me the Green Bay Packers by at least 6.
Yeah, I think the Packers should take this game. I mean, the Bears played them tough the last time they played at Soldier Field, and they should have beaten the Packers if not for a blocked field goal. But I think at Lambeau Field, I think Matt LaFleur made it clear that he wants to shore up some things, and his mantra is to win every game. He said that after a tough loss against the Vikings last week. So I expect the Packers to win this game.
Loss.
And I think the Packers are going to win this game. I think the Bears just kind of want to get the season over with. It has been an unmitigated disaster. I think they're already, looking forward to free agency and the draft.
All right. The Buffalo Bills take on the New England Patriots at home. Buffalo should be resting some of their starters this week. I have the New England Patriots winning this game, even though Buffalo is favored by 3 points. But I think, resting their starters, New England playing at home. Give me the New England Patriots, Paul.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hate picking these games because it all comes down to who is going to stay on the field, not just who plays. But Buffalo should be a team. New England should be able to perform and win a game. That for them is more or less a matter of them just positioning themselves for next year.
All right. Paul, let me give you this one again. The Philadelphia Eagles resting starters against this New York Giants team. Philadelphia is still favored by 3 points in a game that they are resting their starters. I think I'm going with the Giants. The Giants have a little bit more to play for. They played really well last week in a game that they should have lost. I think they scored more points than they scored all season. Give me the Giants going into Philadelphia with Philadelphia resting the starters.
I mean, the Giants had sense they'd actually try not to win this game, but they don't. So I think they're going to go out there and play this game tough and play to win. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go with New York in this game. I think Philadelphia, considering that they've played their hands and made it clear that they're not going for that record, is going to rest a bunch of starters and pretty much prepare for the playoffs.
Yeah, Remy, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to win this game against New Orleans. New Orleans short-handed, no Derek Carr, no Alvin Kamara. I think Tampa Bay should be able to stomp all over them.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much the same situation as the Falcons and Carolina. That very impressive offensive performance that the Buccaneers put on last week, I think it will carry over to this week. Baker Mayfield has been playing lights out. If you want to talk about a Pro Bowl snub, he definitely received it. I think he will, be playing with a slight edge. I mean, he has been really phenomenal this season. I don't think the game will close. The Saints are another one of those teams that are looking to rebuild and find new direction. I think they just want to get the season over with. I think this game is a comfortable 17-point win for the Bucs.
Denver needs to win this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are resting their starters this week. Denver 10.5-point favorite. I know that line is really big, but Denver almost beat the Chiefs earlier this season. Remy, Denver needs to win. I think they get the W.
Yeah, I think Denver wins this game. I mean, even though I'm one of the pundits I was reading online said, well, let's not sleep on the Chiefs. They do have Carson Wentz as the backup. So I think the Broncos will win the game. I don't think they'll cover though, but I think Denver will win. They just have too much on the line. They were so close last week in a really entertaining game against Cincinnati. I really don't see them dropping the ball at home. I think the Broncos will.
Paul, the Chargers travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Chargers, I think they are already locked in their playoff spot, but they still need. They don't need to win, but they'd like to win. Vegas going in an opposite direction. They're looking for that number one pick. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't even know who playing quarterback for Vegas in this game, to be very honest with you. And the Chargers can improve their playoff position, so I'm going to roll with them for this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this line is like this. The Seattle Seahawks travel to LA to take on the Rams. The Seahawks are favored by 5.5. Did I hear the
Rams resting everybody? That's why
the Rams are resting players.
They're resting everybody.
Oh,
I mean, Sean McVay basically came out and said, "Listen, he's very eloquent and articulate, and he has a way of saying a whole lot, and something which is really.
I'm not saying anything.
It just comes down to we're going to arrest everybody. So that's why the line is like that. Jerome, I was right there with you. I was initially puzzled by that, and I went and I did some looking around online, and they're going to arrest everybody. So Seattle should win this game. They have I don't know. Geno Smith is probably playing for another contract. I don't know what else there's really to play for, but I'll just go on based on the talent differential that's going to be on the field.
Yeah.
And the Rams not really caring. Yeah, Seattle has this one.
All right. The Miami Dolphins need to win and get some help. They take on a Jets team that this could be the last time we see Aaron Rodgers playing a football field. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, Miami lose this game, Paul.
The better not. I think with no starting quarterback in terms of Tua playing, it's going to be a challenge for them. But I think they have enough weapons offensively. We're against a Jets team that is in utter turmoil and not necessarily wanting to even play a football game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Miami has to win it, so I'm going to roll with them.
All right, and the last game we're going to talk about, and I get in the wrap-up signal, but this game we should have really spent a lot of time on this game. These games are all the marbles. The Detroit Lions host the Minnesota Vikings. The winner is the number 1 seed in the AFC. The loser go on the road in the playoff at 14-3. Paul, let me start with you. Who has the edge in this game? Detroit is favored by 3.5. I think Detroit is the better team. I think Detroit wins. Minnesota, I think, has played above expectations all season, but they are a very, very dangerous team. But I think Detroit playing at home has a slight edge. Give me Detroit. Paul?
That Detroit team, I think, only second to San Francisco in terms of the amount of injuries that they have. They literally have no defense. And you're talking about a situation where they're expected to go there and score in excess of 30 points to win games. Against this Minnesota defense, I don't see that happening. I think that Flores and company will have a plan for them. And people keep sleeping on Sam Darnold, and all he's done all season is just show up and play excellent football. So I think that the changing factor is the fact that Minnesota is a good team on both sides of the ball, and they'll win this game in a close and entertaining matchup.
You hear me quickly?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Paul. I think the difference in this game comes down to health. I didn't like what I saw from Detroit on that Monday night game against San Fran. When you have Brock Purdy, who has been having a very pedestrian season, light you up. I think Sam Darnold with his weapons, Addison, Hawkinson, and of course Justin Jefferson. I expect a high-scoring game. I think the difference will be a couple stops by the Viking defense. I like Minnesota.
Yeah, Detroit has been a bad team all my life, and I'm probably even before that. They have finally found an identity. They have finally been able to get something to be proud of other than the car brand Ford. Detroit and Eminem. Detroit is gonna be rocking this Sunday night. There is no way Minnesota coming in this venue and beating the Minnesota Vikings. If the Detroit Lions need to score 60, they're gonna score 60. But give me Jared Goff, give me Amir Gibbs, give me Williamson, give me Laporta. Give me the Detroit Lions in this game. Detroit is going to pull off a very entertaining, I'd say 45-41 victory in this game.
Wow. You think I'm adding?
Yeah, man. It's gonna be high scoring because none of these defenses are gonna be able to stop any of these offenses. These two are probably the two most high-powered offenses in the league, and I think it's gonna be a really, really high scoring game. Forget the punters in this game. This game is gonna be a shootout. It's similar to the Manchester United Liverpool match. Give me Manchester United 4-2.
That's where Jerome was wrong, right?
give me Manchester United 4-2.
That's the first where Jerome was wrong. Come next week.
Manchester United 4-2.
From now.
Just remember I said it. Manchester United 4-2.
Okay, with that we take a quick break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Stop the sneeze. Grab some DPH.
I'm congested. DPH?
DPH! Mommy, I have a runny nose.
Come and take some DPH.
Getting rid of a cold or allergies is easy. Take DPH in adult or children's formulation and eliminate your sniffling, coughing, sneezing, and itching. DPH. Minimize the symptoms, maximize the relief. Another great product from the Caramed Group.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM. Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also, tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex. We'll be working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now we'll be diving into the pool. Now we are in our splash segment. We'll be talking with head coach of Y Speedos, Gillian Millwood. She's not only the head coach of Y Speedos, she's also a national coach. And we'll also be talking with Coach Dylan Brown of Blue Waves in the Bahamas. Lady and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure. Let's start with you, Gillian. 2024 is done and dusted. Tell me your thoughts on the season that not only the Y Speedos but Jamaica swimmers on a whole have had for 2024.
I think we had a really good year, because we're in the process of building back, not just Y Speedos but Jamaica, as you said. We've had some really good talent being developed at home, as well as new talent being attracted to the team. So if, for example, we had the Mackenzie boys, Colin and Malcolm, swimming for us for the first time, we're in a state where at the end of 2024, we have upwards of 10, 15, 17 boys who can easily be in the running to represent the country at Carista this year. And that's the most that we've had in a while. So the top end is filling out nice in terms of, the depth, the density that we're looking for to have for a national team, as well as being able to pull up the younger ones, 11, 12, 13, 14s, having something to look forward to up at the top. We've also had our college athletes who've gone on to World Short Course towards the end of the year, as well as Sabrina Lynn at the Olympics. So, there's a lot for the athletes to look forward to. We haven't had that in a while where, these athletes coming up were age group swimmers and are tied to the current age group swimmers. And so there's that link, and so there's a really good energy coming into 2025.
Well, then from 2025, who would you say are some of the standout swimmers for Jamaica and Y Speedos?
I think, I'll start with Jamaica. So we'll have Kia Alert. Now she's moving up an age group. I actually had a meeting with club swimmers and parents about that the pressure is on. Maybe not in your second year, but definitely in your first year. If you can get in and make your stamp, you're way ahead of the game mentally, and that's where you really want to be. It's an adjustment in your training in terms of the intensity, the volume, the mileage, how much stronger you're going to get with your dryland training. So I know Kia is on task to do that. From my end, in terms of Y Speedos, you have Zach Andre Johnson, you have Matty Kennedy,
So Zach Andre is a second year. He's actually just went off to boarding school, which we're really happy about. That's another avenue of opportunities for these athletes, whether boarding school or university, getting opportunities. We'll miss them, but the point is to be able to be a platform for these athletes, as many as you can and as often as you can, whether you can build them up at home or you take them to a level and they springboard abroad. I'm really pleased with where everybody is currently. The standout right now in terms of putting pressure on those older boys, is Matthew Kennedy going into 15-17. Kai Radcliffe, who is a top breaststroker coming out of 13-14, he's another one who, the world is his oyster once it comes to the 50, 100, and 200-meter breaststroke in the 15-17 age group. So absolutely looking forward to that. Let me see. We have William Wan, who is he's moving from 9-10, had a spectacular showing at Goodwill last year, and is coming into the 11-12 as, when we look at the rankings, as one of the top contenders. Joel Sinclair is also with him. So pretty excited. All being well, we can sort out a team for 11-12 boys in terms of relays, because we didn't get to field one at the last few Caristas. 13-14 across the board remains solid. The 11-12 girls being led by Kai Lawson and Addison Thomas is looking pretty good for this year. So I'm very pleased, very excited. I know all the coaches share that excitement. So really looking forward to this new year.
All right, Coach Dylan, let me bring you in here. Let me start with the same question for you. Coming out of 2024, how would you rank the performance of the swimmers of Blue Waves as well as Bahamas overall?
As you know, the Bahamas has been dominating the region. We are in our sixth peak now for Carista. But I think we, as a country and as a team, and with the exposure that we have had and going through Carista, I think we are at a point now where we're trying to find a champion for Carista. Like Cayman, the Bahamas dominate on the lower end. We need a champion at the ultimate level, which is at the Olympics. We have Lamar Taylor, Mishka Gibbs, and other swimmers who are at that level right now. So in another 4 years, we don't know what to expect. It could be the Black Christian Joseph coming out up there, So. But as a program and a whole, coming through the year, we have, for most part, as a federation, we have met most of our goals. I must say, having gone through both federations, as in Jamaica Aquatics and Bahamas Aquatics in terms of support, it's much easier on this side. But I know on the Jamaica side, it's harder. Right, Julie?
Right. Yeah. But I think Lance coming in to make it better. So it's
absolutely
turning over of the old process, the old way. But I feel
right.
good
And
about
I think,
the future.
and like I said, in looking at Bahamas as a whole, I think in the direction that we're going, we're on track.
Right. I was going to come to that later in the show, but since you touched on it, when you look at what Jordan is doing for the Cayman Islands and his sister coming up behind him, I mean, over the years, Caribbean swimmers at the junior level would have performed creditably, and you would expect them to transition to the senior level, but it hasn't been so on a large scale. We may have Ali Atkinson, Dylan Carter, Jordan Crooks, and so on and so forth coming up from the various islands, but we are not seeing the level of progression from the junior to the senior levels from our athletes, despite their performance at the junior level. What are the various boards, the Bahamas as well as Jamaica associations, doing to bridge that gap?
Well, I know they're having talks about up in the age group for Carista. As in, it doesn't end at 17, so we have an 18 and over category. But I think we're lacking, for example, I hate to do the comparison, but I'll do it nonetheless. For track and field, there is that niche, or someone provided the niche for them to have like a Grand Prix. And if we were to create that in the Caribbean, even if it's one country that is providing the venue, and we have corporate support in the package, or we have a Speed or a Tier or a Dolphin or one of those companies sponsoring the price, the packages, that would be, and that is something that is on the calendar every year, maybe more than one. I think that will enhance our senior program. I think beyond 17. Beyond 17, when a parent would have put in 17 years into their child, and you have to make a decision of going to college or going elite.
Right.
For track, you and I know that it's easier or it's more accessible to go elite based on what is presented in front of you. Because elite athletes need finance, as you know.
Right.
And rehabilitation and all that is needed, but they need a direction. In the Caribbean, there is no direction after you finish Carista, really.
Right. And Dylan, what's your thought? I mean, like I said, Dylan said we need a Grand Prix, some support from private sector. But before that, in Jamaica, or track and field athletes would have taken the same route as the swimmers, going overseas to universities and kind of honing their skills, and you would have seen them producing on the international circuit as professionals. Most of the time when our junior athletes or top junior athletes go over to the US mainly for university, you don't hear much about them after that.
Yeah, that's true, and it boils down to a money thing. We had an amazing talent in Justin Plaska, for example, and when we asked him, boy, you're moving on to the Olympic level, the man say, hey, I have to go work, honestly, because that's taking money. I need to go and find it, asking for sponsorship. It's not all there. You're not sure what you can get and how you can sustain it. So is a part of life, is a fact of life, because, once you get out of college, the college conferences end February. If you go to nationals, that's March. By the time you get there, if your school doesn't have an associated club program, there's not, like Michigan does. Like, there are a couple other universities that do. University of Florida does that as well. If your school doesn't have a program like that, the cost to get in and to continue that, maybe you'll be continuing that by yourself. And you still have finals to deal with. There's still all of that scholastic, endeavors to deal with. So where you sit at, for example, World Aquatics, the pot for their 1, world records, 2, gold medals, and then topping the points table. So that's 3 ways of earning when you go to that level. If there can be, like Dylan said, a build-up version to that. Because as he drew the example with Grand Prix, that gives the track athlete something to really and truly push towards. Because there's some earnings at the end of it that you can then bring into the following year to say, look, even if it's not a Commonwealth I headed to, if I can make it to a Grand Prix in, let's say it's in June or July, then that can carry me over along with the other stuff. And then I spend the next 4 years, then make a financial plan to build towards that. And that's something that's encouraging both at the collegiate level for them to transition to the pro level. I don't see where you can find many athletes going from, say, 5th form and high school into the pro level. I don't think many coaches are, except with football and the other sports, but these individual sports, I don't think a lot of coaches are on board with that because of the amount of maturity, unless they're a Summer McIntosh, for example. Mm-hmm. But there's a true desire in terms of what the science has said, and a lot of these experienced coaches, them just say, look, build up the athlete, allow them to earn their way through college, because we have to deal with the parents, right? That is one major milestone that is to be taken care of. So you use that and you launch on to pro. So if we can create that avenue both in Jamaica as well as in the Caribbean, because one thing that these Caribbean countries do well is host stuff. So I don't think there's a lack of experience there.
Right.
But to get the investment, I think the biggest sponsor of swimming in the Caribbean at one point was Finis. Finis had sponsored Bahamas, the team full suits at one point. So, I mean, we just have to create that. How do we create it? We have to go deal with some experts on that. But, I mean, that's the ticket.
And just to kind of jump in on Julie, I had the privilege of going to the World Conference in September, and one of the guys from Australia, he was making a presentation that swimming in Australia was going through a difficult time, and what their government did was they created high performance centers, right? And in those high performance centers, it was a selection from the sub levels. So coaches will select swimmers to be a part of the high performance program. And of course, coach selecting swimmers will still be vetted by those at the top. But in those high performance centers, it's like there's a different world you're in. You have 3 pools, you have a rehab center, you have technology to see your stroke, all that is broken down. In the Caribbean, we don't really have a high performance program. We operate mostly on the age group part of it. Now, most times, parents will sacrifice and send their kids to like Florida, to some of the teams down there.
Right.
And it is not that the Caribbean does not have the coaches to bring an athlete to the highest level. It's just that we're not given the tools to do it.
Right.
Again, I'm going to share an example again. Remember when one time ago in the past for track, everybody used to think that they have to go to the States to be the greatest in the world.
Right.
We changed that, right?
True.
As in Jamaica changed that concept. And it's no longer everybody is running away, but everyone's staying and people coming to us. Because the coaches in Jamaica showed that they had the ability to create the athletes, but we just were lacking the infrastructure, right? I personally believe that we in the Caribbean as swimming and swim coaches, that we have more than enough ability to create Olympic athletes and elite athletes, but we just don't have that support, from government in all aspects and in all countries.
Right.
Because there's still a little whisper of swimming being an elite sport. Even though it's not so. Julie can share that because it no incorporates all level of the scale.
Right.
So we definitely
what you're finding too is when you travel to different places, because it's not just a skill you're looking at the heart of the swimmer, right? Because the athlete really develop an athlete who swims.
Right.
And what we find is you can find that hunger at any level, and we're missing out. I think Bahamas has done a good job with their countrywide. Remember, them have many islands now, so their countrywide Learn to Swim program, right? I'm gonna say plain out, we're missing out on some crucial kids from. I remember going to just swim in the beach over in Lucy, over in Hanover there,
Right.
and some kids there are quite talented. But when I say how we're going to get facilities over there, have it there and maintain it, to pay coaches to be there, all that stuff, like how you'd have a government paid PE teacher, So those are the things those small things that add up, and then you springboard off of that into high performance centers, all of that stuff. It's we have some work ahead of us.
Right. And Coach Dylan, let me bring it to a more happier place. Christian Joseph, a special talent. He is the fastest 11 to 12 swimmer in the Carifta region. He did the record at our recent Christmas Open Swimming Championships. Tell us what sort of an athlete is Christian?
Well, Christian is a typical 11-12. 11-year-old, 11, 12-year-old. where, you know, he still thinks that he needs to dabble in everything. Before getting to 11, 12, or, you know, I used to allow him to kind of take part into what he wanted. Because I'm still a fan of the multilateral development, you know. But
so what you're saying, he would have played other sports?
Yeah, man. He still thinks he's a basketball player, and he still thinks that he's a soccer player.
Okay.
But you know, on days when I have the opportunity to talk to him in a more quiet setting, I try to explain to him that, you know, bro, you're a big deal, you know. But it's my job as his coach to protect him, you know. And I try my best, but he still dabbles in other stuff, you know. He's 12.
With all those interests, how challenging is it to get him to concentrate on training?
Well, that's the thing. No matter what happens, if he goes to basketball practice or to show up, he's still coming to practice.
Right.
So I'm saying to you, if we have 100 practices for the year, he's at 98 practices. He doesn't miss practice. I mean, if he misses, it must be a severe situation, but he doesn't miss. And I think that is part of his greatness, but it wasn't usually like that, you know. But, you know, Christian in the earlier part, it was difficult in terms of breaking him into understanding discipline. But now my job is way easier because he's more disciplined, still playful every now and then, but for most part, he's understanding the concept. You know, he's understanding time, you know, he's understanding the fundamental of training, and those are the things he's understanding now.
Right.
You know,
Maturing.
you know, so no, my job is easier with him, you know, but like I say, on an average day, he's a typical 12-year-old.
Right. And coming into the Christmas meet, were you expecting him to swim so fast?
Absolutely, man. I expected all of them to swim fast because the way my program is designed, I run them in cycles. And I ran them, our first cycle was from August into about end of October there. And I ran him another cycle going into the open meet. He tried to grab the record for while we were home in the Alpha meet. In that meet, he went 25:47 for the 53 because he tried to get a record. Mm-hmm. Right, it wasn't a focus, but he went 2:45 was the record, and he went 25:47, should I say? Right.
Right.
But I knew he would have gotten the record there because, like I said, I didn't have him going fast. I didn't have them going fast in that time. I try my best, and Gillian can tell you there's no set science in the way you kind of science them to go fast. But I think I have a good idea of when to make them go fast and when them to go slow, and how I had the Jamaica meet set up was for him to come out into that meet going fast. So he came into the meet, in great shape, and he wasn't the only one, the entire team, because like I said, we moved in batches, so he understood what he needed to do. He missed out, but I told him, there's no guarantee because, you're not, we had load on him, you understand?
Right.
And as coaches, we know that we use the load to control them. So he had load on him going into Jamaica, so we are slowly offloading him going into Jamaica meet, and he had some time to rest too, so.
Okay.
We got that. And I think with the Jamaica meet, it's an amazing meet. So we have gone, 2 years in a row now, Jilly?
Yeah.
And the reason why that meet is a perfect meet is because you know how most teams train from September into December?
Right.
In December, we're going to the slow season because the summer is their travel. It's Christmas break. So that cycle of your training kind of slow down. So you have you have them in their best shape, but you lose them through the Christmas between the holidays and whatever else going on.
Right.
So the where they have the meet is perfect for any swimmer that wants to go fast out in the character cut. Because I've seen swimmers, Michael Sobers and them from Barbados, they have gone fast in that meet, making most of the character cut in that meet.
Right.
So I would say to Jamaica, kudos to Jamaica and hosting that meet. And I guarantee that every year they'll have a good support in that meet because of where it's placed.
Right. And tell me, what was his reaction knowing that he is the fastest 11 to 12 in the Carifta region?
Well, Christian is pretty easy. He knows what he wanted. He knew what he wanted and he was chasing it. I'm not really a record man. I don't really focus on it, as I told in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Right? But he pays attention to that. I believe, to be honest with you, I'm looking for an Olympian. And I told him, if in our pursuit for greatness, if we grab a few records, then thank you, Jesus, Mm-hmm. But for him, it was a great achievement because for his thing is that he wants to leave his imprint as he goes through the age groups.
Right.
And nothing is wrong with that, He talked about Marvin Johnson, Marvin has had placed his imprint as well through Carifta. Everyone knows that. And Christian is kind of on the same kind of, road. But, like I say, it's never, for me and him, it's never about the age group that he's in. Because what we're trying to get to where we're trying to go, it's never about that you being 13, 14 and making 13, 14 times. Right. It's you being 13, 14 and swimming 15, 17 times. Finally, 15, 17 times. But it's like I say, it's an ongoing thing. And like I say, he's a humble kid. And he 100% supports his teammates as they do him.
Right.
And he's now appreciating stuff like record.
Right.
And like I said to you, that record for him being the fastest in the Caribbean, I am praying that will help him to kind of focus more
mm-hmm.
and achieving the other goal. But I told him, like is the goal, and he probably wouldn't know this, but when I met Sabrina Lynn, I used to coach Sabrina in her earlier days.
Right.
And I told Colleen, to Sabrina's mom, that Sabrina was going to the Olympics.
Right.
And Wendy and all them can tell you guys about that story, and I'll tell that story for 100 years. I think I have a knack of identifying the talent and know that, it could go somewhere if it's handled properly.
Right.
And I think, Christian has something in him. And I think he will make it, he make it all the way. Right. Everything is in order.
And Gillian, coming back to you, tell me what's coming up next? What's next on the local calendar?
Whole heap of things. We're gonna kick off. I mean, the school swimming season that these kids can yield their qualifying times from. That's gonna be kicked off January 24. But the biggest thing on my plate right now is Carlisle House. The Carlisle House Swim Meet. This is our 51st time staging it as a club at Y Speedos. So that is a very, very big deal for us. January 30 to February 1. All the coaches going to be setting up to swim. We're going to be kicking off the year in quite fine style and getting these kids up and racing after the Christmas break. As you heard Dylan say a while ago, after Christmas open, you have to be dealing with, the family, and where Christmas and Boxing Day and New Year's Day was this holiday around, it really put a wrench in, the continuity of the training practice over the holiday. But we're getting about, 3.5 weeks to get everybody back up to where, at least close to where they were, so that they get in, and then they have about 3 to 4 weeks after that. We have 6 weeks after that, we have age group champs. So that's on the Ash Wednesday week there. Then we're going into things like Junior Pan Am. We're dealing with World Aquatics events. So straight up to Goodwill, we have quite the packed calendar. And we have to be selecting 3 teams for some major meets in the summer, including World Champs, Junior Pan Ams. We're in 2025, so that's Commonwealth Youth as well. So we're pretty excited about what's coming up this time around. And I have to get people back in gear. Everybody's excited about the new year. We even went go-karting today after some beach training, because I like using beach training to get everybody working on them feel of the water. And then we're hopping next week and get to it.
Right. And both of you mentioned the Christmas break, and when your swimmers go off, do you give them a program to assist them to maintain their shape, their physical strength, whatever, or you wait until they come back, then you see where they are and you work from there? Let me start with you, Gillian.
It depends on the athlete. So if you have one who, them going to be, mentally a mess if they're not moving them bodies, then sure. But you have those who, them come in, them going to give you 200% at the training, and you really need them to take that mental and physical break, then you just allow them to break, because you know the kind of athlete that you're going to get when we get him back, coach. I miss the water. I feel weird. We'll say, all right, we'll take 3 days, get back your feel, do a lot of sculling and kicking, and you're fine. But for the others who they need to keep moving, yeah. Hopefully them have access to one of the many hills over here, so Upper Belvedere or Fountain Spring, and you send them up there. If they live on the coast, you send them on the sand. Without 30 minutes of walking, your core work, your band work, whichever. But yeah, know your athletes. If you need them to take that mental break, if they're very anxious people, don't you have some that will message you and want to talk to you even though we're on break. Take the break. Recovery is very much as important as high mileage or a whole heap of sprinting or holding send-off times are.
Right, and Dylan, how you maintain your athletes' fitness during a break like a Christmas break where you have the sorrel and the cake and the food and all that?
Okay, so for my team, I can tell you by the mid-November, first week in November, they know our Christmas camp schedule.
Right.
So I have two groups. I have those who are going away. So they usually notify me whether they're going to, like some went in Canada and they were nowhere close to a pool. So I know I sent a batch of YouTube workouts to them. Then you had those who were like maybe in Florida and had access to pool or a YMCA pool. I sent sets for them, general sets, nothing to, just active rest, And then my core group that is home, they are locked into a camp. So, for example, we had about 5 camps. And when I say a camp, like we run 2 sessions per day. And some weekends we have 4 sessions. And then they'll go off like Christmas Eve and they break for 2 days. So by the time they come back, they're recovered. So I have it all laid out. They know the layout of it. They know what we're doing in the sessions. So that's part of me mentally preparing them. The ones who are away, they're aware of what we're doing here. So this past week, it was more of a confirming who is where and what we need to do. As I told you, we're an age group team. So I can't say, okay, you guys were away, stay in a corner over there and those you guys, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
It was more of a psychological part of it now where I told those who were here for the camp supporting those guys who just got back. As you know, the recovery time is faster for those guys who were here during the camp. Those guys who came back late, they're struggling through the sets, but we're still pushing. Our next meet will be in 3 weeks, so I could tell you in 3 weeks I'm going to expect some mixed results. I probably want to test it another 4 weeks after that to see where we're falling, like that. But, Dylan can tell you one of the most difficult things is to kind of streamline a team. Because between those who get sick, especially during the cold time, those who get sick, those who try to pass exams, those who parents tell them you can stay home and study your book or do your homework, it's difficult to streamline it, Yeah. But we try our best to make it work. And coaches, we always get the end of the stick where, the child may spend most of the time trying to study. But when we get to meet, we don't get the results and the coaches get cussing for it,
Right.
But the other side of that too, is that, we have to be real and communicate because you've spent, whichever the child, so you have the child at an age group of 13 years, more than likely they're swimming since age 8. Now, they've spent, 5 years minimum creating a rhythm of school and swimming and school and swimming. The truth of the matter is, you see, when you stop that swimming, and they claim to be studying between 4 and 6 when you're supposed to be having training, and their body is in that rhythm, you take them off of that rhythm and they come back and they're like, oh, nothing supposed to wrong. You know, I'm still supposed to be getting the times that I want, and you have to sit down and say, look, you know, and even going as far as Michael Phelps saying it, anytime you miss a session of training, it's going to take you 2 to 3 sessions to get that feel back.
Wow.
So let's be realistic with the time that you're taking off and what your expectations are. So I know, going into Christmas Open, I had to have a good number of that conversation too. As to, you know, sure, you have exams. At St. Andrews, for example, had exams for the Monday and the Tuesday of the meet. And some would come in, I think some had the benefit, the wonderful benefit of being in the last heat, the faster heat for the 400 free, and got to swim it. But the times weren't too hot because, you know, boy, coach, I really needed to cram for this exam. But, you're cramming for 3 sessions in a row. Come now. So, yeah, like Dylan said, that is those are some tough conversations to have and some tough realities. So, you're coming with a mixed bag, and I think that's the beautiful storm of being a coach. So, you know, just being realistic and doing all of that classroom management to get the best out of your team.
Right. Okay, Gillian and Dylan, that's all the time we have for the show. I thank you for coming by and sharing some of your thoughts as it relates to swimming in Jamaica, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean on a whole. Wish you and your teams all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's my pleasure. Okay, so that was Gillian Millwood, national coach and head coach of Y Speedos, and Dylan Brown, head coach of Blue Waves in the Bahamas. With that, we have to say thanks to everyone that made the show possible. I want to say thanks to Wayne Walker, who was at the Pure Water JC or Danny Williams track and field meet at Jamaica College, Julian Ward, a defender of the Sunshine Girl, Paulton Gordon, president of the Jamaica Basketball Association, Kurt Dale, specialist coach for the Sunshine Girl, Dylan Brown, Gillian Millwood, Jerome Jarrett, Remy Evans, and Paul Vaughan. I'm Alex Ribby on behalf of my technical operator, Kevin Williams, saying to you, God bless, good night, and hope that your evening will continue to be blessed, and we hope that you'll be in church on Sunday. And as usual, if you don't have a church to worship, you're welcome to worship with us at 159 Olympic Way, Tower Hill Missionary Church. God bless, good night.